What a finish! What a man! The drum roll finishes, and the target is hit.
And it comes on finals night, and it's a knockout clash.
Dirty Harrison! Van Velzen!
Takes it out superbly. Trina Gulliver with a ton topper.
Second, gets a second, double 10. Superb. Yes, it is!
And that is a superb checkout.
Double 10 for Duff. A 4-0 win.
Well, a storm is brewing outside and inside here at the Modus Live Lounge in Portsmouth. And whilst the weather outdoors is rather miserable here in the UK, why not warm up your spirits of a night at the darts? It's the Seniors Showdown here from Portsmouth, and we've got every single dart covered with you here on Pluto TV throughout the course of the evening. Hello, good evening. Welcome along to the action. We've got some Super Series thoroughbreds in action for you over the course of the next 3.5 hours. Two of the most successful men in the building, Steve West and Neil Duff, will resume their rivalry. We've got a 10-time champion of the world in Trina Gulliver in action. Plus, we see a first appearance of the former European champion Simon Whitlock, and Crocodile Dundee is looking to get his teeth stuck into proceedings. Well, we've got the former Players champion Paul Nicholson back with us once again on this Thursday night, and you look at this group and you look at the 5 players that are in play, and this is not a disrespect to Group C earlier on this afternoon, but you look at the calibre on show this evening, we look as if we might get a higher standard tonight.
Yeah, I think tonight's about reputation. It's not necessarily just about what these players have done outside of this building as well, because you've got someone like Neil Duff, who is a WDF World Champion, and you've got a European champion in Simon Whitlock. It's about what they've done in this building as well. I'm including Neil in that. I'm including Steve West in that for sure. But it's open to interpretation to see who's going to get the top 3 spots over the next couple of nights.
Well, this afternoon, Group C got underway, and it was Johnny Haynes who topped the table overnight. He won 4 of his 5 games. He came in as a late replacement for Richie Houghton and had to withdraw midway through the week. And he's carried on from where he finished off on Sunday when he got to the final of the ADC Global Championship.
Yeah, he just looks really sharp, doesn't he? He's putting in some great performances, and seeing him win 4 games out of 5 is not a new thing, because he's already done it this week. He did it yesterday. So doing it again and topping the table after day 1, it's not really out of the question. He was pretty much judging every statistic. And what I mean by that is, he's not one of those players who's going to talk up a good game. He's just going to be saying, I'm here to try and win. If I do, great. If I don't, fair enough, I'll just move on. But he's got the most points, won the most legs. He was the most likely, and he is the best player in the group.
As you can see, really tight group in Group C. That's going to get back underway at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. But let's have a look at the tournament bracket now, because we're heading into Thursday night here at the Seniors Showdown. Richard Rowlands won Group A on Wednesday afternoon, and tonight we're going to see Steve West and Neil Duff return alongside Trina Gulliver, Paul Hogan, and a first look this week at Simon Whitlock, who, by playing this week, has decided he's not going to go to Q School in 2026. He's going to be treading a different path this year.
Yeah, I think what Simon's going to do in 2026 is just try something new. What he's been doing for the last 15, 16 years is almost copy and paste. I know that last year it was a little bit different, but maybe by doing something different in 2025, he's got a taste for maybe doing something different is good for him, because it got him back to the Alexandra Palace Spectacular. And being the defending champion of the ANZ Premier League, I'm pretty sure that he's going to be in that again as the figurehead of Australian darts over the last decade and a half. So maybe with that and going through the ADC system or doing other things, maybe it could unlock something else at the twilight of his career.
Well, he goes off second favourite this evening. It's actually Neil Duff, who is the bookies' favourite to go on and win this group 15-8. Simon and Steve both 5-2 respectively. What's your overall synopsis of those odds there?
The odds are tight, and they should be, because when you got players like Paul Hogan, who is a serial spoiler wherever he goes, I'm not surprised to see Trina at the bottom of the table there. She's probably the one with the best CV, but from a statistical analysis, maybe not at the same level as the other four. However, when I see Steve West at 5-2, I'm quite surprised by that. Alongside Whitlock, yes, I get that, but as second joint favourite, I think he's probably in the best form when it comes to this building and quite locally to the Live Lounge. So I'm surprised to see that. Right,
let's get into the action. 18+, gambleware.org, if you're going to have a flutter on the Super Series. Trina Gulliver's involved in our first match tonight against Neil Duff. I caught up with the Golden Girl earlier. Trina, swap in the commentary box for the Arrows tonight. Looking forward to it?
I am looking forward to it, yeah. It's a bit nerve-wracking because obviously now they've played this week, so, you know, I'm going to have to sort my game out a little bit.
Does that inspire or intimidate a little bit, the fact that you've actually seen half the field play?
Inspire me. It inspires me, yeah. I want to play well, obviously, and see hopefully everything comes together tonight and I can give them all a good game and get some results.
Where do you say you're at this present moment in time? Because when we saw it, the double trouble, in patches, it was very much that. I can imagine it's just probably finding a little bit more consistency.
Yeah, you know, that's what I've got to do. You know, when I played in the double trouble thing, I was quite happy with my game there. You know, I am improving. So, yeah, I'm getting there slowly. So hopefully I can do even better today.
And Group B as well, 3 from 5, one less match. This should be hopefully a little bit more suited for yourself.
Well, hopefully, you know, that's the plan kind of thing. You know, I've got more chance of, technically speaking, I've got more chance of getting through because there's 2 that go through, isn't there? And like the less games as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Nice to rekindle old memories. I know a lot of them you hang around with over the senior circuit over the years.
Yeah, they're a good bunch of lads, aren't they? And it's it's nice to get back to seeing them all again. You know, it's been a while, so yeah, it's been nice.
Hey, being better if you beat them, right?
They won't speak to me. I know that they won't speak to me if I do that.
Well, hopefully you have a nice quiet night then, Trina.
There is that, yes.
Right, go well. Wish you the best, Trina. Good luck out there.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And Trina Gulliver's first assignment is Neil Duff, who finished third in Group A over the course of Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. And Trina will know all too well because she was sat in the very seat that I was in yesterday afternoon to watch Neil Duff do exactly that. It was a tightly compacted Group A, which Neil was unable to get out of. Richard Rowlands winning it in the end. He was the first player to book his passage through to Saturday night's final via that particular method. Trina having a chat with our match referee this evening, Paul Hinks, prior to play getting underway. Now aged 56 from Southam, making the finals night at Women's Week 3. And we are going to announce the lineup for that particular week at some point during tonight's broadcast. Neil Duff won the inaugural double trouble. He is overall a 6-time weekly winner in this building. Him and Steve West are going toe-to-toe in terms of weekly win records. And they'll renew their rivalry once again a little bit later on this evening. That man there, Paul Hinks, a man who's presided over 4 World Championship finals in an illustrious career, whether it be the Circus Tavern, the Alexandra Palace, the Winter Gardens or the Live Lounge. If it's a historic venue, he is refereed there. If it's a historic venue, Trina Gulliver's most probably played there, most probably won there. She gets us underway 100 this Thursday night. Steady ton to kick off, and the asset Paul Nicholson will be alongside myself, Henry Deacon, to guide you through all of Thursday night's proceedings.
140.
I'm really interested to see what Neil is using. He doesn't traditionally use a set of darts that he endorses.
26.
In the past, he's been famously using a Joe Cullen dart. But these are a little bit different. They're a straighter barrel, dual texture, so different at the top to what's at the bottom.
43.
But the key characteristic here on this barrel is that it has a tapered nose. Because previously, he hasn't had that style at the end of the barrel. This is quite the difference. Be interesting to see how he uses them.
28.
Got him into the top 3 over the first 3 days, so not too bad at all.
Now, you would have been otherwise engaged during Double Trouble 4 just before Christmas.
140.
But Neil Duff did change his equipment to something akin to this. He's moved to the all-in-one moulded stem and flight combo and to a different barrel. He's changed his grip point, and he's hoping by
140.
doing so he can up his scoring power. He's gripping it more now. You can see the little nurdle next to that grip at the front, and that's kind of where he's
61.
gripping the dart now.
Is it just me, or has Trina Gulliver gone from Supergirl to the girl with glasses from the start of this game? Almost didn't recognise her.
137. Neil the car, 117.
Maybe just trying to figure out if she needs the glasses or not. And she's sticking with them. And is going to have a chance to take this first leg.
42. Trina car,
Having
70.
spoken to Trina in the past, it's not something she ideally wants to wear, but sometimes it's just a necessity. Double top to get the opening leg.
on the
Good
first
start
leg,
from
Trina
Trina Gulliver. Clean kill on the 70. She was
Second leg,
speaking
Neil
rather
Duff
confidently
first.
in the
Game on.
build-up to this. And you can tell why. That was a real steady opener. And Neil Duff, if he didn't know before, has got work to do to beat the 10-time world champ. And that is his instant riposte.
We had to wait until game 2 this afternoon to get our first maximum of the session. Here it's leg 2.
54.
But you do feel, based on reputation and current form of sorts, that Group B is going to be
43.
maybe more likely to give us bigger numbers and in some cases great fixtures. You look at Duff versus West in game 7.
40.
Look at West versus Whitlock in game 5.
98.
This is definitely the place to be. As a storm rolls in all over the UK, stay indoors and watch the darts. That should be the message from the Met Office.
58.
Yeah, if you are watching in the United Kingdom, please do stay safe. There is red weather warnings across the United Kingdom on this Thursday evening.
60.
So if you do have to travel, please do so safely.
Yeah, this might be the night where you just
60.
let
Neil
the dog
car,
go out in the garden
120.
and get them straight back in, because there's going to be 50-mile-an-hour winds and more. Duff is looking for a bit of Shanghai.
80.
Not quite, but time on his side.
Yeah, you mentioned people in the Isles of Scilly and Cornwall have been given the most severest of warnings to not leave their home. The same in the Channel Islands as well. So if you are watching in those parts of the world, we
26.
do
Neil car, 40.
hope that you're all safe. As
Gage on the
Duff
second
pins
leg,
tops
Neil
to
Duff.
square this contest up at 1 apiece.
Third leg, Trina
It
to
was a
throw
nice steady
first.
start for
Game
Trina,
on.
but that lead was extinguished very quickly in 16 darts by Duff.
Which is a level that he can comfortably play at all
45.
night long.
Here's a question for you. 2026 started just a few days ago. What's Neil Duff going to do this year?
60.
Is 2026 a copy and paste year? Is he going to do something different, or is it going to be a year of wanting to do the same?
I think we'll see Neil Duff in different areas
66.
this year compared to 2025. Had that tilt at Lakes. I didn't quite go to plan for him. I know that he's had ambitions to play a bit of the
100.
ADC circuit. I know he very much enjoys that. But the biggest problem Neil does have is that commute over now from Switzerland to the United Kingdom to play in certain events. So I think a lot of the stuff he'll do will be a little bit more localised. It might be stuff in
30.
Switzerland, stuff in Germany. This is about speaking to Neil, by the way. But I think he's in a space where I feel as if he'll just play the darts he enjoys. He loves playing here. We know that he loves playing here.
85.
And he's always going to be a firm and regular fixture at the Live Lounge. Definitely ticking a Champions Week. I think that's his priority this year. Ticking a Champions Week here. Because it's the only thing he's not done.
That is correct.
100.
He's won Lakeside. And if he wants to go to the World Masters, he can do so for the rest of his life, because by winning Lakeside, he can do that because you get a free
60.
invitation to the World Masters.
Could even drive there if he wants, if it's kept in Budapest. Trina seems to have lost her range a little bit over the course of the last leg and a half. Leaving the bogey number, unfortunately. That's due to dart 2 of the previous visit. And Duff feels a bit snookered here.
29.
Well, kind of unable to leave herself on a finish. Duff just about leaves himself on a finish. Trina from here is going to be favourite to win this third leg.
95. Near the car, 167.
And once again, leaves herself on 70. The same combo she took out to win leg 1, and she's going to get another look at it in leg 3.
41.
That second
Trina
dart looked
car,
very
70.
loose. Same checkout. Could be the same result as leg 1. And that's missed by
17.
considerable distance
Near the
twice.
car, 126.
Giving Duff a free shot at 126.
Single leaves the ball. And that is
91.
wide and to the right.
Trina car, 53.
And so Gulliver should get 2 darts here at double top to go 2-1 to the good. And we do know that her doubling is a key facet to her game. When she gets opportunities
Game
at the
shot on
outer ring,
third
she
leg,
tends to
Trina
get.
Gulliver.
And she does so there. She moves 2-1 to the good. And I think that
Fourth
was
leg
part
near
of the
the
reason why she
first.
got a little
Game
bit
on.
more joy at double trouble just before Christmas than perhaps she's had in some of the other specials weeks she's played here. We've kind of mentioned it before. Sometimes
85.
the scoring may not always be there, but when she gets chances, she takes it. And that was why I think that was such a level of force. She beat Scott Mitchell, a man who's just beaten the reigning ADC Global Champion today. And she's 2
45.
legs away from deposing of one of the great champions of this building, Neil Duff.
But is he playing to the peak of his ability this week? First 3 days were decent, but he only averaged 83.
81.
11 maximums for 3 days. Neil can play better than that. And he was only 32% on doubles, so there's another level to find. I'm not just
45.
talking about his top level. I think there's a 5% buffer to be found without even getting close to his top level.
123.
So the fact that he's in Group B without playing anywhere near his best, what does that tell you about him right now?
We know one thing about Neil. He's got an ability to win matches
140.
irrespective of how well, or maybe how sometimes he's not playing well.
And we have to say as well, how much darts
60.
have these players had over Christmas and New Year? Neil might not have had anything meaningful since Lakeside. Or Double Trouble, that kind of thing.
43.
That's
Near the car,
a good few weeks, and that can make
152.
all the difference.
And there is a difference between the players playing in this and maybe if we were speaking about other players playing at this time of year.
100.
Because the players at Q School would have fine-tuned their game for this specific week. And so they would have done the hard yards over Christmas. These two aren't at Q School. These two aren't playing their trail on the challenge tour.
58.
They haven't had to
Near
do
the
the
car,
hard yards over
52.
Christmas if they didn't want to.
Double top for Duff.
Game shown
That is a
fourth leg,
wonderful
Neil
shot
Duff.
from Neil. 18 darts is good enough to draw
Fifth
level
leg,
at
Trina to
2-2.
throw first. Game on.
If I may play devil's advocate,
Please.
day 1 of stage 2 at Q School, have
55.
all of those dart players done the hard yards?
Some have, but I get your point. There's probably some that have cantered along.
I think there will be players who go to that stage of Q School
83.
just expecting their talent to get them through. I could give you examples, but I'm not going to do that right now because I think it's disrespectful. But there are players who will turn up to that Q School
55.
and their arrogance will be the thing that might get them into an order of merit position. People who work genuinely smart,
100.
they're the ones who will get through Q School and then contend this year on the Pro Tour. There will be a few who think they are good enough to contend.
40.
But can they look themselves in the mirror and say, I've done enough? I'm not sure about that.
$58.
Well, Gulliver on 3-5-1, so even a Maxi isn't going to leave herself on a finish. And you just get the sense
64.
that for Trina, holding on to her throw is absolutely imperative. If Duff breaks here, he has got full command of this contest.
Put it this way, if Trina can walk away tonight with 4 points,
140.
that gives her a brilliant chance of qualifying tomorrow night.
I think there'll be a couple of players on 4 this evening. I don't think it's going to be one of them groups that's going to be
100.
dominated
Near
by
the car,
a singular
120.
player. But Duff here looking for Shanghai. Oh, he's got a beautiful guide. But unable to utilise it. But he has got time on his side.
60.
Gulliver back on 187. Duffman will return. Should get 2 in hand at tops when he does come back.
And the glasses are off for Gulliver now.
$97.
That's a great
Near
switch.
the car, 60.
It's a good leave, just in case. Well, that's nice and high. That's a good thing.
40.
That is not a
Trina
good thing.
car,
And
90.
Gulliver does get this opportunity. You've got to get to the bullseye minimum here. Stay straight. Double 5.
85.
That was a great attempt.
Near the car, 20.
And now she's got to hope that Duff Snuff is up 3 more at double 10. Has to shuffle across. Now this is awkward.
No
And
score.
Gulliver's going to get a
Trina
look.
car, 5.
I just wonder if Neil had a better angle for the top of double 10 from the right-hand side. We'll never know.
1. Near the car,
Unfortunately, dart
20.
3 was never there. Just was never high enough, and the glasses are back on.
Getting shown the 5th flag. Near
Well,
the
Duff doesn't need a third opportunity. Breaks the throw, leads 3-2.
6th flag. Near the
Now
throw
has the
first.
darts in his
Game on.
hand to get over what has been a fairly difficult obstacle in Trina Gulliver in this opening match.
One thing's for sure, over the last couple of weeks,
55.
the sight of dart players and the sight of non-dart players has never been more in the limelight in this sport. Thanks to the wonderful words of Ryan Searle
30.
on January the 1st, who was talking about the condition that he has, which is a hereditary condition. And as a result, people are starting to
140.
raise awareness and raise funds for additional research into ADOA.
And a beautiful gesture from the tournament sponsors as well.
100.
Semi-finals. You may have seen something a little bit different. The 180 placards were blurred to kind of intonate what it's like for people with that condition. Money was raised for that particular charity. Duffer 171 there. Leaving himself at 135 after 9. And this game could well be over in a few seconds' time.
We saw this finish this afternoon from Kevin Painter.
136. The other car, 135.
It didn't start that way, though.
Didn't start that way and didn't have to end on the ball if he didn't want
99.
to. But he's got the next best prize of leaving himself on a double after 12, the double of choice, double 18. To complete a 4-2 victory. He was 2-1 down in this contest, was Neil Duff. Could be on the
56.
cusp of reeling
Neil
off 3 on the
36.
spin to get his campaign up and running. It was the bookmaker's favourite before a dart was thrown. It was 15-8
Shown the
on
match,
to win
Neil
this group. And Neil Duff is off to a winning start. He gets the better of Trina Gulliver by 4 legs to 2. Gulliver did lead by 2 legs to 1, had darts to lead 3-2. But Neil Duff managing to win 3 on the spin to complete a 4-2 victory. Coming up after the break, we're going to watch Paul Hogan for the first time this week up against Steve West. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yeah. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So we seal the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler! Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Trina Gulliver got the better of Neil Duff. Sorry, Neil Duff got the better of Trina Gulliver by 4 legs to 2. Game 2 sees Paul Hogan and Steve West go head-to-head. Steve now residing in Waterlooville, the 50-year-old 5-time weekly winner in the past, up against Paul Hogan, who has won a couple of weekly titles here in the past, but Steve West, in terms of weekly wins, is as prolific as anybody. 6 now to his name. He won the last week here at the Live Lounge in December, picking up the Double Trouble 4 title, getting the better of Graham Usher in the final, which means that he's now 2/3 of the way of completing the Super Series set. And the Super Series set is a weekly title, Specials Week title, and a Champions Week title. But in Paul Hogan, Nico, a very difficult obstacle to overcome. He's granite, tough as nails, and just difficult all round to dislodge.
And a somewhat simplified Paul Hogan as well.
45.
He's got a new dart shirt with just Hoagie on the back. Forget about Crocodile Dundee. I'm sure you had a whole host of things to say when he plays Simon Whitlock.
140.
Even at Paul's age, because he's been around for such a long time. Still a great technician.
45.
Simplifies the game. Loves to play. I'm sure just very happy to still be involved
100.
with a project like this. Made his Lakeside debut back in 1995. Same year as Peter Wright.
100.
The king of the qualifiers, the professional amateur, as he was known for so many years, because he kept coming through Riley's qualifiers to
177.
play at the UK Open. And because he never really committed to the circuit, every time he got to Lakeside was through the last chance saloon qualifier. But Steve West has put his best
60.
foot forward
Steve
in this
McCann,
opening leg,
24.
leaving himself on double 12 after 12 for a
Game show
13
the
dart
first
break
leg,
to kick
Steve
things
West.
off.
Have you noticed something about Steve's points as well?
Second leg, Steve to throw first. Game
They're
on.
a lot smoother than the ones he was using prior. These have got a bit of intricate detail in them, and they don't have the rough texture.
60.
So they don't rip up the board like they used to. What we've seen over the last couple of weeks as well is that if you
60.
have something that is a very rough texture, you might not just rip up the board, you might rip up your own fingertips, which is what Gian van Veen's been doing with his own equipment.
82.
And that is the Steve West point.
$43.
I think there's a little bit of positivity in the air with West as well.
100.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. He's just seen the Super Series ghost. We don't have wasps here, but we might have ghosts.
140.
Well, it is an old church, and there are murmurs that there is a ghost of the time when it was a church
133.
resembling in this building.
What are you referring to?
I'm referring to the fact that this is a very old building which has very interesting memories. Put it this way, if these walls
100.
could talk,
Steve McCann, 126.
I'd be scared.
Trying to scare everybody watching on Pluto TV. Yeah, you want to go for the bull. You don't want to lay up here, Steve.
86.
Okay,
Steve
don't
McCann,
take my advice then.
158.
And he was right.
He was. Bit of a risky
100.
play,
Steve
though.
McCann, 40.
Well, Steve West is not hanging about here. But he
30.
cannot find that
Holden
2-0
Carl,
lead in the
58.
blink of an eye. And all of a sudden, Hogan's presented with an opportunity to square this game back up at one apiece. He's got 2 in hand at tops,
Game show on the
finds
second
it with
leg,
the
Paul
last. And a game that West could have had full control of is back at an
Hogan. Third leg,
equal
Paul to
kilter.
throw first. Game on.
I haven't watched Paul play for a few months.
100.
But I'm surveying the way he's playing now, and I like what I'm seeing. There's a bit more of a rocking motion
60.
in his throw. There's a bit more forward pressing just before that first, second and third dart are thrown. But there's a lovely rhythm about it.
140.
There's a smoothness about his throw as well. That right shoulder's not getting engaged.
140.
But as good as Hogan can be, he doesn't naturally have the scoring prowess of a West.
140.
But he does right there. Look how compact this throw is. You look at where the right elbow is compared to everything else. Some other elbows are just further away from the body. A bit like Paul Hogan here.
Well, the murmur there from Steve West is because of that
57.
ricocheted to the 5. It meant that Hogan had 6 on the 1-2-1. He will return for 64 to lead 2-1 in a game that he could have trailed 2-0 in.
Paul 64.
West with the 140 does leave himself on a double after a dozen.
You know for a fact he's going to hit 17 in tops now after that.
Well, we've seen this play before.
24. Steve McCann,
I'm surprised
36.
by that. When you miss a dart with dart 1 by that far, usually players like Hoagie really do fix it.
Game show on the third leg, Steve
You don't
West.
see Steve West in double 18 very much.
Fourth leg Steve to throw first.
Well, the
Game
legs
on.
Steve has won in this game have been in 13 and 14. He's finding that first start
140.
with real regularity, isn't he?
And I don't care what kind of form you're in, because Steve's been in really good form over the last 4 weeks.
94.
You've got to maintain what works. And what works for West is rhythm.
60.
Every dart has got to be thrown in the same time. Dart back, little twist of the dart, and through. That's what Hogan is showing here. He's not necessarily playing
85.
his best, but the rhythm, it's encouraging for how things go throughout the night and the group. If Steve starts throwing that third dart too quickly, that is not a sign of bad rhythm. It's a bad sign of mentality. Look what happens when he has a good rhythmical visit. Scores a 140.
41.
Well, Steve West put right the wrong of the
161.
previous leg. That time finding the 140 off the back of the 301 leave. Doesn't have to go for it. And he ain't going to bother with a 161.
99.
I'll give him an A for not going for the checkout. I'm going to give him a C minus for going for the treble 19.
62.
Really should have gone for the bull, because he still needed a treble. And he only gets one dart.
42.
Should have had more.
He's leaving himself in and around after a dozen darts, leg in, leg out. And that's going to cause some concern here for Hogan.
41.
Because he's not been
Supercar
able
20.
to play set with him in the scoring
Each on
department.
the
Not for the
fourth leg,
first
Steve
time
West.
do we see a double 10 trickling low to the bottom right-hand corner. West 2-1 to the good. Sorry, 3-1 to the good now. Averaging just over 98 and
Fifth leg Paul to
change.
throw first. Game on.
I think we've got two players here who are not a big fan of water. Not necessarily H2O, it's H2 no.
81.
Not as much as Danny Van Tripe, who was not a subscriber to Portsmouth's finest spring water.
81.
Are you seeing a little bit of rustiness in Paul Hogan here?
Which perhaps is a surprise
100.
because actually you'd think of all the weeks of the year to play here at the Super Series, this would be the one he'd be the sharpest, because we know that he is prolific in
60.
terms of attending Opens. And Christmas time, there's a plethora. I mean, he runs the Basingstoke Open. Well, him and Angela, his other half, of course, do a great
100.
job in running local Open events, and Basingstoke Open is the jewel in that particular crown.
Yeah, I think West plays in more local darts now than he ever has,
42.
because of the proximity of what's around in Waterlooville.
Plays at the Phoenix Club twice a week on a Wednesday
100.
for the local Open, and plays in a large number of vaults in the same venue.
And that's where careers can start. If you're not a junior, you've got to find local darts first. That's anywhere in the world.
140. Paul Car
If
120.
you can find that, you can find a path to success. That is not a trouble. Oh, what you doing?
47.
Second time today, I'm going to say that's a wrong play. 16s on 80 with one dart when your opponent is about to leave tops. That was
138.
a mistake
Paul Car
before.
73.
It's a mistake retrospectively. Okie doke.
53. Supercar 40.
So if he'd hit the 39 there, he would have been on double 17.
Gage on the mat, Steve West.
Well, double top for Steve West, completes a 4-1 victory to kick off his night. He gets the better of Paul Hogan, and the two players that progressed out of Group A have gone off to winning starts in Group B. And what a performance that was. Really good display. Average of 97 and change, 4 for 9 on his doubles. It's felt in the last month or so, Steve West has really turned the corner for the better, and he's off to a winning start here. Whitlock Gulliver's next.
54. Charlie Maguire, 164. 44. 32. Charlie require 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls at this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
require
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
The moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the stage,
Charlie
approaching the
require
Yoki with
20.
a chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
require
he's gone to
118.
bust it, maybe. The first title he won, he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust. And
39.
on that situation there, George
require
Scaife wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
require
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Got
Couldn't get the job
it.
done.
Got in the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Scaife.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Scaife!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. 2 games down on this Thursday night, and we've already seen 4-2 wins for Neil Duff against Trina Gulliver before the break for Steve West against Paul Hogan, and it was a good performance as well from West. Average of 97.21, 4 for 9 in terms of his finishing against Crocodile Dundee. And we're going to see the final player yet to see at the Senior Showdown, Simon Whitlock, the 2012 European champion. Now aged 56, both of these players 56 years of age. Simon making the decision this year not to go to PDC qualifying school. Last time we saw him was back in the summer of last year. And since then, he's gone on to win the ANZ Premier League, which saw him make a return to the Alexandra Palace and the PDC World Darts Championship, where he put up a good fight to Connor Scott, the sniper. But his efforts on the biggest stage of all were ended in a last set decider to the very talented young man who's actually relocated to the Midlands.
96.
Nice to see that Simon is using his Reece Robinson flights again. But that was a very exciting game he had with Connor at the Worlds. Especially the last set.
60.
That had everybody at the Palace on the edge of their seats. Yeah, and I think deep down Simon really enjoyed that game. I know he lost it.
58.
But that might have stoked the fire just to have one more crack. There were a lot of people, including yours truly, who thought that maybe that would be his last appearance at the Palace. I'm not so sure now. I think there might be
62.
one more.
Because he had Connor Scott on the rack. Let's get that right. From 2-0 behind, he looked like he was done and dusted. Then he pulled off a couple of sets back, and you could tell Connor Scott was just beginning to feel it
95.
a little bit up there.
Wouldn't you? You've got a European champion bearing down on you, and he's got the crowd with him. I think Scott handled that situation really well.
But it's a different
45.
complexion this year for Simon. As you mentioned, not at PDC Q-School, so no Challenge Tour in 2026. And because Adam Leake got his tour card, and with the rules in terms of players with tour cards getting first dibs on World Cup spots, it means that his ever-present record is now going to be done and dusted with, because Adam Leake will automatically get the spot if he wants it.
Well, we assume that's going to be the case. I know there have been things that have got in the way in the past. Things like visas. And the World Cup is not played in the UK.
94.
Played in Germany. So imagine if Adam were not be able to play with Damon Heta, then Simon would be the next in line.
And let's not forget Mason Whitlock could still win a tour card, because he's in stage 2, and I can imagine he's probably
41.
watching
Samuel
tonight.
Carr,
If you are
100.
Mason, it's about 11:45 at night. I'd recommend getting some beauty sleep before tomorrow, pal.
Well, this is a very difficult single 20.
40.
And I think Simon understood there that going slightly high was better than going slightly low.
Well, Trina's been rather skittled in this opening leg.
45. Samuel Carr, 60.
Whitlock looking at 60 to get on the board. 2 10s.
40.
Doesn't go.
Trina Carr, 148.
This one will not go either.
60.
Whitlock
Samuel Carr,
usually
20.
attacks this double 10 in the top third. Doesn't mind a step over.
Getting shown the first leg.
That's
Simon
why.
Whitlock.
This beard of
Simon
his
Trina to
seems
throw
to have
first.
evolved
Game on.
over the last couple of years. Seems to have done a Maddingly. You know what that means if you watch a certain animated TV show.
100.
It's got rid of the sideburns. But the beard itself, it's not getting longer, it's getting wider.
140.
Him and Andreas Harrison will have to have a beard off.
All right, who's got the better one?
I'm not going to comment on beards, but I reckon
125.
Simon Whitlock's got a better haircut than Andreas.
It's not really what I asked, is it? Stop trying to sidestep it, Mr. Politician. Who's got the better beard?
93.
There's something about Andreas's grey, bushy beard for me.
I'm going for Whitlock.
100.
If we're talking about beards as antiques, Simon's is a lot older. If you look back at the 2020
58.
BDO World Championship, Andreas Harrison barely had a beard. Whitlock has had one his entire career. It's got more lineage.
140.
Yeah, really well done from Trina. Obviously wanted to leave double 18. Didn't think about leaving tops. That is such a great 140.
Trina Carr, 36.
That little step to the left created the angle down the dart as the marker. Forcing Trina to take this out. It can still be done.
22.
But not now.
Samuel Carr, 70.
So Whitlock looking at 70. A finish that Trina took out in a opening game against Neil Duff. Is she going to be hoisted by her own petard?
54.
Double 16 just
Trina
moves on
Carr,
the
14.
inside. And so the Golden Girl is hoping that sevens is heavens. And she's level at one apiece. Can she just float that over the top? I think the flight at dart 1 is pretty much obscuring that target.
No score. Samuel Carr 16.
She has got quite a flat trajectory in the air. Made that shot very difficult.
14.
3 doors, no one's home.
So Gulliver looking at double 7. To equalise this game. And again, it's that low first dart, which is making life awkward, and she comes inside as a result.
10. Samuel
But
Carr
Whitlock
2.
finding himself in the madhouse. No mistake. 2-0 to the Wizards.
Third leg Simon to throw first. Game on. $100.
Well, music to Simon's ears.
Trina being on double 7
140.
has raised a bit of a question. It twigged something in my own mind, because recently and this afternoon we were discussing double 15 winning the PDC World Championship. Did you know that Phil Taylor's first PDC World Championship was won on double 7?
40.
So in the question of which doubles have not been hit to win a world title, double 7 is not an answer because it has been hit at the Circus Tavern. That was against Rod Harrington in 1995.
100.
You just wonder which will be the next new double to win a world title.
$140.
The one and only year was the Proton Cars World Darts Championship. And I can say that because Proton Cars was something that was thankfully left in the 1990s.
Okay. Some of us might have had one.
Yep, that sums it up.
I'm going to say the next new double to win a world title is going to be double 6. Nobody's ever won a world title in double 6. I'm talking about BDO, WDF and PDC.
$60. Trina Carr 153.
It's not going to be double 17. That's going to be the last one to go.
Unless someone accidentally hits something, i.e. someone accidentally hits double 1 going for double 18 for the winning double.
Well, you could be Paul Hogan having 73 left, going treble 13, double 17, 21. For instance. Which made no sense.
In fairness, I've gone that way in a vault before, but less said the better.
This is the right way for 52.
Game shown the third leg, Simon Whitlock.
And that's how you do it. It's not brilliant from Whitlock,
to throw first. Game on.
but it's better than his opponent right now, and that's all it has to be.
And the problem Trina's got here is she's played 2 of the first 3 games.
45.
If you win them, then you put yourself in a rather fortuitous position as far as the group is concerned. But on the other hand, the position and the predicament that she currently finds herself in, potentially on the precipice of back-to-back defeats in those games, she'll find herself on the back foot and as the back marker in this table.
You find yourself as a bit of a stato, don't you, Henry?
97.
How many doubles have never been hit to win either a Lakeside Championship, let's put it that way,
140.
or a PDC World Championship? How many of the available 21?
6. 5 or 6.
How's that fence you're sitting on?
60.
You said 5 or 6. You've got to give us a number.
Okay, 5. 5. I'll give you 5.
5 is the right answer.
See? Didn't need to sit on the fence.
Blind-faced
57.
guess, and he got it right.
That's because I need to get a life.
Just means you knew the answer. If you are curious, double 1,
44.
double 6, double 17, double 19, and double 9 have never been hit.
Now, double 9 does surprise me because of the possibility
94.
of coming inside on the 18.
I'm surprised at 6s. You could have left double 12. Gary Anderson could have had 6s twice, but didn't because he hit double 12. It doesn't look like Gulliver is going to be getting any more darts at double in this contest, even though she's already had 8.
83.
That scuppers
Simon
that.
110.
Treble 1 leaves a bogey number.
Well, all about laying up, and he does that to some sort of efficiency. Leaves himself on 60 to complete a 4-0 win.
60.
Well, Simon does have one of the most recognisable darts from this place with the dangly tops. Is he going to do it again?
Well, no issue whatsoever, and that was a convincing and comprehensive 4-0 victory for Simon Whitlock, brushing aside the golden girl, Trina Gulliver. And so Simon Whitlock off and running at the Senior Showdown. It wasn't a vintage performance from the Wizard, but it was good enough. Coming up next, Neil Duff takes on Paul Hogan. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Before the break, Simon Whitlock got his campaign for Group B underway with a 4-0 victory over Trina Gulliver. Trina now having played 2, lost 2. She's got a big end to the night to come in the next couple of games that she plays. Game 4, a meeting between Paul Hogan and Neil Duff, and Hogan finds himself in a similar position to Trina Gulliver. Having lost his opener to Steve West, he could well be finding himself behind the 8 ball if he loses out to Neil Duff, who got his night underway with a 4-2 win over Trina Gulliver. Looking to double up his tally, move on to 4 points, and put himself in a decent position at the halfway stage of proceedings.
That win for Neil earlier on against Trina was a bit scruffy.
67.
He might just need to polish up a little bit more to play Paul Hogan right here. Because I don't think Paul's going to average 78 again.
140.
If there was a little bit of rustiness in Hoagie's first game, he's had a little bit of time to brush up to make sure he's ready for this challenge.
180.
And we haven't had many of those tonight. That's only the second one, and this is game 4.
And if I'm right in saying, that came from Neil Duff in the second leg of the
100.
opening game against Trina Gulliver.
You'd be right.
What do they say about broken clocks?
They're broken.
58.
Don't know. Terry Jenkins might try and make a couple of quid out of it.
I can think of a few broken clocks that might still be valuable.
140.
Like one that belonged to Elvis Presley.
$60. Paul Ducar, 121.
Interesting start. 96 left. He does like double 18.
50.
But he doesn't like that
Neil
last
Ducar,
start.
136.
One little bit.
$96.
That's
Paul
tidy.
Ducar, 71.
They're the kind of approach shots that he might need in this game. This is a combination checkout. It's almost double 2.
51. Neil Ducar,
And all
40.
darts there in that visit were just a little bit low.
Tots for Duff. 2 10s.
30.
Just
Paul Ducar,
on the
20.
inside. Hogan presented with another chance to break.
Just didn't feel likely that Neil was going to take that out.
Getting shown the first
There it
leg,
is
Paul
again.
Hogan.
Bottom half of double 10 found.
Second leg, Paul.
Heavy
through
weather
first.
so far
Game
for
on.
Neil Duff, and he finds himself looking to overcome a deficit in this one.
I'm trying to make sense of this dart shirt, Henry. I don't know what you think of it, but it looks like an old
85.
Tottenham away kit. He'll hate me saying that because he's a West Brom fan.
I think the colours are inspired by the baggies. You can tell with the dark blue trim with a bit of white on there.
But does it really sing West Brom? I don't think it does.
45.
In the same way that a green third kit for Newcastle United doesn't sing Newcastle. I mean, Neil's shirt looks like a Chelsea away shirt.
100.
I actually quite like the design. It's striking. But it doesn't scream West Brom to me.
44.
Looking for a new manager, having dispensed of the services of Ryan Mason earlier on this week. Having,
Ironically, who used to work for Tottenham.
I think they've lost their
140.
last 10 away games, or they've not won in 10 away games.
Some people don't like getting on the bus. 2 people who are looking to
60.
book their
Neil
way
Ducar,
home are Arno
81.
Merck and Philip Bereza, who won at European Q School today. Congratulations to those gentlemen. They don't have to throw another dart this week.
41.
Tops after 12 for Duff to break back
54. Neil Ducar, 40.
and to restore order in this contest.
Getting shown in the
Order
second leg,
restored,
Neil Duff.
13 darter, back on terms, 1-1. Now then, Nico.
Third leg, Neil to throw first. Game on.
Are you ready
You're giving this the big build-up. I hope it's worth it.
You know it's
100.
worth it, Nico, because it is time for the Thursday night tungsten teaser.
100.
I'm ready.
3 players in the last 16 of this year's PDC World Darts Championship. 1 week's at the Super
140.
Series. Luke Littler, Charlie Manby, and Andreas Harrison. But how many titles combined, including Champions
82.
Weeks, including Specials Weeks, have those 3 players got? That is your Thursday night tungsten teaser.
I'm guessing you don't want me to answer that. You want to leave it in the ether for a while.
I'm going to let it linger in the Portsmouth air.
Do you have to let it linger?
Do you have to?
I'm just
41.
going to stop you right there. Because this guy has a proclivity with karaoke, and we don't want him to go any further. But that's the question. It's a very good one, actually. I do have a
81.
guess. I'll give you that guess in the next game, which is West versus Whitlock, which is a Waterlooville derby. Waterlooville being a
60.
rather famous
Here we go,
suburb of
100.
Portsmouth, about 20 minutes away from the studio. Now, Neil. Well, well, well. If that was for a single 20, that is a wide.
42.
Luckily for him, he's got time to his aid. Hogan hasn't really been able to keep up in the scoring stakes in this contest. Duff's just upped it the last couple of
92.
legs, and Hogan
Here
hasn't
we
really
go,
been able
58.
to keep track of him. And as a consequence, Duff Man has 2 darts
Getting
at
shown the
tops.
third leg, Neil.
Only needs the 1. And from 1-0 behind, he finds himself 2-1 to the goods.
Full leg pole to through first. Game on.
You could classify this game as a Hollywood derby, because they've both got surnames of Hollywood superstars.
100.
Paul, or Hulk Hogan, also known as Terry Bollea. That was his real name before he sadly passed. Because Hulk Hogan was in Hollywood
100.
movies, like No Holds Barred and Suburban Commando. And then Duff is obviously Hilary Duff,
100.
who was in lots of things, I'm so told.
Well, Nearly's looking for a
140.
duff moment, hopefully more dramatic than the EastEnders Christmas special. And I'll be
85.
honest, I'm kind of glad I fell asleep halfway through, because it wasn't very good. Actually, it was awful.
42.
Darts is its own soap opera these days. You don't need soaps. You just need
40.
live darts. And guess what is the big difference between soap operas and live sport? This is real. These are people's lives and their livelihoods.
177.
That's real, and that's brilliant.
And unlike the Arsenal against Liverpool game earlier on this evening, there is no guarantees of... Well, you won't get a 0-0 here. And you won't get anybody shoving an injured player off the pitch either. Double 16. 3-1 Duff, break of throw.
Fifth leg Neil to throw first. Game on.
This is a very decent performance from Neil. And when I say very decent, I'm doing him a little bit of a disservice. This is,
40.
after that, a 93.8 average, 50% on the doubles. And I think we look at 50% on the doubles with
60.
fresh eyes these days. Because for the first time at any World Championship, we had somebody win the tournament with more than 50% on their doubles,
135.
which is a little bit silly. Broke the record by 5%.
140.
That's how special Luke Littler is.
And even the bloke that was runner-up had around 50% for the season. In fact, Jan van Veen for the 2025 season.
100.
For this season, a 12-month calendar period, had a doubles percentage of 47 over a season.
I remember when Rob Cross was top finisher of the year about
41.
8-9 years ago. And he was on 44%, and we all thought, that is amazing. But when people are getting closer to 50 now, that for a season is ridiculous.
140.
But that's what we have now.
And that was a big sample size because he hadn't pretty much played in anything he could.
He played a lot of games.
140. Neil cut 86.
But this game could well be over because Dust looking at 86 to wrap up a 4-1 victory. Double 16 for 14 Data. And that was much more like it from Neil Duff. If he was slow out the traps against Trina Gulliver, he's made up for it there. An average of 98.5. His finishing sublime. 4 from 7 in that particular department. Back-to-back 14 darters in the last 2 legs to get the job done. He's 2 from 2. Coming up after the break, Steve West against Simon Whit. Let's see who's going to join him on 4 points.
You will be disappointed with that. He wanted to have
Graham
one dart for the
requires 20.
Graham Usher wins the first game of Champions Night, and it was an absolute ripper. He hit one of them on tops. He missed one on double 12. Which one is it? It's the hit.
Outside opportunity for Andy Hamilton. Van der Velde should be getting a match start again here. He's already had one. Mr. Data tops for the match to win 4-1. And the Data double 16 gets the job done there for Jurgen van der Velde. He gets over the line with a 4-2-6.
Did he go for tops, or did he just overshoot the single? Jimmy doesn't care. Jimmy just looks to eat this up to make the semi-finals for the second time. Adam Gablas has been eliminated. Keep us guessing. This time he's trying to leave double 18. He knows best, and he takes the lead. He's 2 darts away from a Super Series final. He's 1 dart away. He doesn't need any more darts. Jeff Smith makes the Series 11 final. Is Usher losing his cool a little bit here?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, I'd say the head's gone. And you don't have long to recover. It is very, very short format darts. Vansky's halfway to victory.
He only needs 1 more. Jimmy Vansky is yet again into a Modus Super Series final.
Flashback vibes. Can Jimmy Vansky do the same? Just needs the 1 treble here on the 19s. Finds it. For the ball.
101.
Oh, unlucky. A lot of pressure on it. He's going to split it. 2 darts for double 4 for the match.
Game. Shot. And the Modus Super Series 11 champion, Jeff Smith.
For the live lounge is all yellow on this Thursday night. Neil Duff, before the break, with an average of 98.5, sealed a 4-1 victory over Paul Hogan, which put him onto 4 points in this Group B. The winner of this matchup between Steve West and Simon Whitlock will join him on that mark and put themselves in a really good position at the halfway stage of the night's proceeding. Steve, Got the
First
better
leg,
of
Steve to
Paul
through
Hogan
first.
by 4 legs to 1. Average 97.21 in that contest. 4 from 9 as far as his finishing was concerned. It was a pretty much immaculate display, really. Not much to
54.
grumble about as far as West is concerned. For Simon Whitlock, he knows he could play better than he did, but did get a 4-0 victory against Trina Gulliver. And kicking off with a max, his first of the night.
And only the second person to get a maximum here tonight. Duff's got 3.
57.
Now, Whitlock joins the party. Hang on a second.
180.
Now, what do we have here? Could be the second Whitlock to hit a 9 in this building.
83. Simon Car 141.
Well, the apprentice has already pinned one, but the master isn't going to follow suit, and he knew exactly what was in play there. Not just
41.
the 9, but family bragging rights.
Oh, I tell you what, if he'd hit that, the first thing he'd do around about 1:30 in the morning when he gets his mobile device back,
57. Simon Car 100.
text young Mason. Still might get an 11 darter. It's a rather impressive start, isn't it? Especially when you consider it's against the throw.
The first tongue topper of the night.
Well, these two are going to play a lot of darts this year, aren't they? Both in the county of Hampshire here in England.
43.
And they might spread their wings a little bit further, depending on what their ambitions are. But I wonder if they're going to play as many games of darts as Series
100.
12 champion here, Charlie Manby. Do you know how many games he played in 2025?
Do enlighten me.
299.
60.
When I told him, I think it was on the 28th of December, that he had one more game to play and he was only going to play 299, he was devastated
100.
not getting to 300.
That is an eager beaver. Charlie Manby, who
58.
is the defending champion, is slotted in to play in Series 12. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'd be stunned if we see him here.
Do you know what his response was when I asked
135.
him the question? I asked him, do you know how many games you've played in 2025? He just said, plenty. Just the perfect response.
Yep, that sounds in keeping with young Charles,
60.
whose poster's now been
126.
put up in the Live Lounge building.
Look at it this way. He's got his poster up. Some people haven't
100.
yet.
Steve Car 40.
This could be a nice response. This has got to go in. That had to go in.
Steve West.
The way he's throwing with that marker,
Third leg,
I would
Steve
see
to throw
Steve
first.
hitting that
Game on.
tops 19 times out of 20.
Maximum, if I've ever seen one. No other outcome.
140.
Okay, maybe there is.
After this, we're going to be at the halfway point. Duff has done his job so far with 2 wins.
135.
Somebody else is going to have 2 wins as well. It has been going with what the odds compilers did
60.
think could happen. I think the biggest shock from anybody
58.
in this group in 2026 would be if Simon Whitlock were to change his dart shirt, because he hasn't for 16 years.
100.
So synonymous, and one of the most recognisable faces in the sport. And even now,
97.
he is such a popular player on the exhibition circuit.
But it is somewhat out of character, considering how much he changes his equipment.
60.
He doesn't change anything else. The shirt, the colour schemes, the beard, the ponytail,
61.
everything stays the same.
See the car,
But the equipment,
141.
he changes it loads. It's baffling. Oh, that's baffling to Steve.
109.
Now, you once
Sam the
famously
car,
commentated on
150.
Simon Whitlock winning a game on 3 bullseyes off the back of a 150 checkout.
Against Daniel Larson
60. See the car,
in
32.
the wonderful town of Zwolle.
Getting shown the third leg, Steve West.
Which I'm sure Steve West has been to on 1 or 2 occasions.
He has.
Fourth leg, Simon to throw first. Game on.
Once a Dutch resident, fluent in the language. Well, I say Dutch resident, he lived in Holland for a few years.
140.
I don't think Steve gives himself the pat on the back he deserves for how
63.
smart he is. He's a very humble chap. But if you can learn Dutch, then you've got a brain. And I think it's easier to learn Klingon than Dutch.
One of them 40.
Well, 140 for Steve West. There's a slight stoppage in play here. Just a slight gremlin in terms of the scoring system here. West leading by 2 legs to 1 in this, the 5th game of the evening session. The winner of this contest will move on to 4 points at the halfway stage of the game. We've already seen Neil Duff move on to 4 points in this group, courtesy of a 4-2 win over Trina Gulliver and a 4-1 win over Paul Hogan. We're awaiting this one to get back underway. Both players having a chat with one another. It's going to be a slightly longer stoppage in play than perhaps advertised.
Okay, in that regard, what do all 5 players tonight have in common then, Henry? And we don't see this every Thursday and Friday night.
149.
You don't see that very often at all. Leaving 32 after 9. And based on my question, you can include the referee as well. What have they all got in common?
52. Sam the car, 32.
Well, Simon Whitlock here has to be given a lot of credit because he could potentially wrap this leg up in
Getting
4
shown the
visits. An
fourth leg,
11
Simon
data,
Whitlock.
which included that stoppage in play. Full credit has to go where
Fifth
credit
leg,
is
Steve to
due.
throw first. Game on.
Is it that they've all picked up a title? Well, they've all picked up titles on the
60.
tape.
Including the referee. I did say including the referee.
$59.
Is it that they're all older than me?
They're all wearing spectacles.
Ah.
You don't see that every session.
100.
I know this is the senior showdown, but not every senior player has glasses. Whitlock didn't always use glasses. Had
100.
to as he got a bit older. West has always worn glasses.
Should have had Niall McCorn and Scott Mitchell in commentary to have completed the glasses
140.
trifecta.
Which leads me to another question
84.
that's coming, actually. Who's had the best glasses? In
Dennis
World Dart?
Taylor.
Okay.
100.
Who's had the best glasses in darts? This is really good from Whitlock. He's going for the jugular.
180. See if we got one.
This game is getting very good statistically. It doesn't have a ton plus twist.
53. Sam the car, 78.
Well, Whitlock here averaging in excess of a ton, 101.11 at this present moment in time. And he's looking for a big break of throw. Treble 20 for double 9.
Typical Whitlock.
Game shown the
There's
fifth leg,
nobody
Simon
in the
Whitlock.
world who does that apart from him.
Sixth leg, Simon to throw first. Game on.
He's the only person who thinks that makes sense. And the reason he does it is because treble 20 is at the same level as double 9.
He's finding the range.
140.
And he now has the darts to win this contest.
Give me an answer then. Best glasses in darts.
Royden Lamb.
Solid answer.
60.
I get the sense there's a however, though.
No.
$137.
Jeff Smith. But the caveat is Lakeside finalist Jeff Smith. That period, he had cool glasses then.
58.
I think these days, if you're talking about pundits as well, you've got to go with Mark Webster. He's got more pairs of glasses than Elton John.
60. Simon Carr, 126.
And this one might be over. Whitlock has played an average of 103. And as the game has gone on, his stats have improved.
58.
This has been proper stuff from the Wizard. Average still over 101. It's just felt like Steve's ran out a little bit of huff and puff as this game's drawn towards a close.
Simon Carr, 68.
And we know exactly what Whitlock's going to do here. He's going to stay in that straight line, double 20 for double 4 if he could. 16's corridor, double 16.
36.
Would have wrapped it up with another 5-visit leg.
What Steve's got to do here is leave himself on a finish and hope that Simon does not take it out.
95.
He's done okay there.
Simon Carr, 32.
But you'll fancy that Whitlock will get the job done anyway.
Job done, and job done emphatically. A couple of 11 darters in there for Simon Whitlock. In the end, the average just underneath the ton mark, but a 4-2 win means he moves on to 4 points in the table. And possibly, Simon Whitlock is establishing himself as the player to beat. But he's beaten Steve West by 4 legs to 2. Our next game sees Trina Gulliver and Paul Hogan go head-to-head.
$54. Charlie McGuire, 164. $44. $32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls of this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
required
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
The moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
Oki with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
required
he's gone to
180.
bust it, maybe. The first title he wanted 20. He went 6 double 7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George Gay wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
required
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
many opportunities for Charlie Murphy. Couldn't get the job done.
And the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Scaife.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Scaife!
We're at the halfway stage of the action here in Group B at the Seniors Showdown. 5 matches have been and gone, and so far so good for Neil Duff and Simon Whitlock, both players having won their opening 2 matches this evening. Duff getting the better of Trina Gulliver and Paul Hogan, while Simon Whitlock has beaten Trina and Steve West so far this evening. So this is how the land lies as far as the table is concerned. 2 players at the top on 4 points in Whitlock and Duff. Paul Hogan and Trina Gulliver yet to pick up a win, and Steve West is sandwiched in the middle of those 4 players. Steve's not going to be playing in this one. He takes on Neil Duff in the next, but we're going to see the 2 players at the bottom of the pile go head-to-head as Paul Hogan and Trina Gulliver face off. The winner will pick up their first points of the evening. The loser will be the only player yet to get off the mark on this Thursday night. To give Paul Hogan a little bit of credit, he has been hit by 2 big performances so far. Steve West averaged 97 and change in a 4-1 win against him, whilst Neil Duff averaged 98.5 in a victory by exactly the same scoreline. For Trina,
Looks like Trina to
she
throw
did
first.
go 2-1 up in her opening game against Neil Duff before then losing 3 on the spin. But 8 missed starts and a double. Going to cost her dearly in a 4-0 defeat to Simon Whitlock in her second match of the session. The asset, Paul Nicholson, is with me once again for the second half of the night's action in Group B. And for these 2, you get the sense the loser of this tie has got a lot of work to do to get themselves back into proceedings.
You're not wrong. Still got the possibility of 4 points by the end of the night, but 2 minimum needed. You do get the feeling with the level that we've seen from Duff and West
81.
and now Whitlock in individual games that they are separating themselves from these 2. So someone's got to hit back.
68.
Because there is a danger if things carry on as they are that Whitlock and Duff will sail off into the sunset in this group, and potentially West, Gulliver and Hogan are
100.
duking it out for the 3rd and final position into Saturday night through this group.
Now, things could change really quickly. We could see
100.
Paul Hogan winning this game and winning in Game 8 against Whitlock. Then all of a sudden he's feeling rather good about his evening.
95. Trina Carr 133.
He can't afford to think about Whitlock because he's got to take care of Trina first. And Hogan has left a bogey number.
44.
Or should we call it a hoagie number?
95.
Well, now McCorn does like to play a game of bogey number bingo. You could add the 165 to the mix.
That's been left twice tonight.
64. Paul Lucar 70.
Not to be for Trina. Maybe it is for Hoagie. He's got double 16.
38. Trina Carr 25.
Well, translate that if you can. That was a bit of, okay, it didn't go there, and it didn't go there, and it didn't go there.
17.
That was an inviting guy for Trina, and the grimace on the face is she knows that it was an opening that she was unable to take, and Hogan on this part of the board usually comes up trumps. But that is awkward.
No score. Trina Carr
And to be honest, he did well to find that hole. So 2 fours for Trina. 2s never lose.
4.
But they will not
Paul
gain
Lucar,
her the
32.
opening leg.
I think we're starting to see why these 2 are in the bottom 2 of this group.
Getting shown the first leg.
That's
Paul
good enough
Hogan.
to take the first leg. Doesn't matter whether it's 23, 13,
Second leg,
somewhere in
Paul, the
between.
third
It is a
first.
lead.
Game on.
Now, did you have a favourite bit of punditry or commentary from the recent PDC World Championship? Because mine still makes me laugh to
140.
this day. It was Lawrence Ilagan running away from the Wasp. And the commentary did enhance that moment. It was
36.
genuinely hilarious.
Yeah, if I tried to recreate Wayne Mardle's scream, it would only be heard by the local dogs. It's an
140.
optic so loud it would send the animals a bit crazy.
I think Wayne is probably the only person in this sport who could enhance a moment like that
45.
and make it even funnier than it was. Can you imagine Dave Lanning trying to do that back in the 80s?
Wayne Mardell is a tungsten bumble.
100.
You're not wrong.
He was out in Australia commentating on the Ashes for the Australian broadcaster.
I didn't know Wayne was out there. I thought he was doing the darts.
85.
David
Paul
Lloyd.
Hogan, 121.
As for Stuart Broughton, apparently he's gone down a hit with the Aussies. Ball first on 1-2-1 with Gulliver all the way back on 3-3-5.
That's okay. It's better than a single 4. He's trying to figure it out. It is a 19 that he needs, and he was just not thinking about it
65.
clearly.
Luckily for him, he's going to get a lot of wiggle room here. Plenty of wiggle room.
60.
Well, Trina was
Paul
looking at
Hogan,
that treble
56.
20 rather fiercely. At least missing the 19 gave him the luxury of leaving double 18, which has worked
Getting
out
shown
pretty
the second
well.
leg, Paul Hogan.
All's well that ends well.
Third leg, Trina to throw first. Game on.
It's more of an affectionate dart shit, isn't it? Just having Hoagie on the back. That's what people call him. That's his affectionate
60.
nickname. It's not his darts nickname. Or maybe he's going to go down the Chizzy angle.
45.
Well, the stage is lit up in Dave Chisnell colours.
I do believe a Hoagie is a sandwich.
100.
Well, the live lounge in Portsmouth rather resplendent on this Thursday evening.
Well, yellow and black are synonymous with the live lounge.
100.
That's why I'm surprised that Hoagie did not wear his yellow shirt.
$61.
You are correct. It's otherwise known as a submarine sandwich, but a hoagie sandwich is a large Italian-American style sandwich on a long roll, typically filled with various deli meats like salami, capicola, ham, provolone cheese, and toppings such as lettuce, tomatoes, onions, peppers, dressed with oil, vinegar, and
40.
oregano. It originated from the Philadelphia area. It is essentially a type of submarine sandwich or sub-hero sandwich known for its generous fillings and crusty yet soft roll, and named for its popularity with workers at Philadelphia's Hog Island shipyard.
I think you've covered all bases there.
43.
Hogan's got to leave a finish from this number. 57 minimum. He just doesn't seem to be playing with a great deal of confidence this
41.
evening. Maybe he needs a sprinkle of oregano, which does enhance most things.
60.
There it is again, that low one.
30.
Well, who'd have thought
Trina car,
that
137.
Trina Gulliver would have been first to a finish in this leg? Hogan, over his last 2 visits, has not been good. In fact, his last 3,
Paul the car, 156.
he's barely cracked 150 points, which would make this very unlikely. He gave it a bit of a scare.
100. Trina car, 40.
And given Gulliver a scare, she don't convert tops and now double 15. There could well be trouble ahead.
Here we go again, double 15, just like this afternoon. Is that 3 or 4 times today that someone's hit double 5 going for tops?
Yeah, happened on a couple of occasions to Kevin
No
Painter.
score.
And
Double count,
because she
56.
found the double 7 there, she's bust her score. Hogan looking at double 18, Old Faithful. Double 9.
Getting
And
shot
it
on the third
goes,
leg,
break
Paul
and
Hogan.
throw, the double break for Hogan. 3-0 up, and now with the darts in hand
Fourth
to
leg,
complete
Paul
a
to throw
4-0
first.
victory.
Game on.
As Trina missed doubles coming back to haunt her here. 0 from 8 against Simon Whitlock and 0 from 8 here against Paul Hogan.
39.
She's been given opportunities. However, she's just not been able to make best use of them.
You're absolutely right. 6 darts at double in her first game, 8 in the next,
26.
8 in this one. The chances have been there.
$85.
Doesn't, from our perspective, look like Hogan is comfortable with the darts in his hands. That's something that Ricky Evans was struggling with
140.
in the last 32 of the PDC World Darts Championship recently. That was against the aforementioned Charlie Manby.
Who was
97.
different gravy in that contest.
By the way, when are we getting our answer?
I tell you what, let's do it in the next leg between 2 Super Series Legionardos. Or the next game, shall I say, between 2 Super Series Legionardos.
We have now got 3 of the 5 players who have a maximum.
140. Trina 155.
Whitlock has got 4 tonight. Duff has got 3. And now Gulliver's got 1.
96. Paul Ducar 140.
But this is match point. Nice high 20 to leave tops.
100.
That's
Trina
worked out well.
59.
Gulliver can't miss this chance. If she does, it may just be game over.
Shopping for 10s.
39. Paul Ducar 40.
But unable to check out. And so Hogan looking at the top of the shop. Chasing 10s. Finding 10s. And sealing a 4-0 success against Trina Gulliver, who missed 10 darts and a double in that contest. And Paul Hogan is off the mark. He's certainly struggling with his right hand. I don't quite know what's happening, but certainly doesn't look 100%. But he'll be happy enough with the 4-0 victory that he's picked up there. Coming up after the break, 2 of the all-timers in the live lounge go head-to-head. It's Neil Duff against Steve Rest. Rivalries Renew, live next.
An absolute stunning. Listen to that crowd.
Laura Turner's doing things like this, like
Game
taking
shot
out the
third leg,
113.
Laura Turner.
Go.
Brian O'Sullivan!
2 at double 16.
Game shot in the third leg.
So tops for the 120, tops his round.
He's a very fine player. Double 9.
Yeah, for the manner in which he did it, but didn't seem to affect Vicky Pruitt.
That was the only opportunity she needed.
Well, absolutely sensational stuff.
Narrowly finds the 10 and pings the tops.
Next week sees Women's Week return here at the Live Lounge, and this is how the tournament bracket shapes up. Group A sees Lisa Ashton, who picked up Women's Week 3, and the reigning Women's World Match Play champion in action. Fallon Sherrock is back as well, alongside Kelsey Villakainen, the winner of Women's Week 2. Rhiannon O'Sullivan won the first Women's Week here. Laura Turner lost out in a final. She's going to be trading the commentary box for the stage alongside Lorraine Winstanley and the defending champion, Gemma Hayter. Priscilla Steenbergen, who made it through to the final of the WDF World Championships at the Lakeside in December, will be in Group C alongside the finalists from the year before in Sophie McKinley. Robin Byrne will also complete the complement. The action gets underway on Monday morning from 9:30 AM, and of course we should mention Lorraine Hyde, the reigning World Masters champ. So to Game 7, a meeting between two Live Lounge legends as Neil Duff and Steve West go head-to-head. Neil, having picked up a full complement of points so far, a win here would see him on to 6 points. If Steve West can win this encounter, then he'll be tied on 4. And it would open up the door for Simon Whitlock in the next one to really begin to run away with proceedings. He takes on Paul Hogan in match 8, and Neil Duff right at the very end of the night session is over here in Portsmouth.
Neil to throw first.
And this will be the game that will tick Thursday into Friday here on the South Coast. These two, well, rather getting to know one another quite closely, it seems.
95.
A lot of people who have been watching the Modus Super Series since day one would have these two in their MSS Mount Rushmore. But they are collectively
60.
the two best players yet to win a series. I don't think that's up for debate. Players like Scott Taylor
59.
and Andreas Harrison, they have won series. But you think about the serial
100.
weekly winners who have not won a series. Pilgrim. Sykes. Weston Duff.
60.
Right up there. Reese Robinson too. He's got 3. But these guys are a little bit ahead of that, aren't they? Because they've won special weeks as well.
60.
There's also a 6'9" Shaquille O'Neal, statuesque, imposing Dutch Sequoia Jimmy Van Schie you could also put in that particular argument.
Great point, great point.
100.
I think Tom Sykes has probably got the biggest claim because he's been in 3 finals.
Well, no player's been in more finals than Tom Sykes. Luke Littler's only played in a couple. Won
60.
both. Van
Only.
Schie's played in a couple.
Only.
3 series he played in, 2 series wins.
41.
But this is seriously a good rivalry because of the fact that they've won so much. And at one point, they were verbally duking it out as if to say,
120.
I'm the best here. No, I'm the best here.
46.
It was never done in a, Chelsea and Fulham or Liverpool and Everton sort of way. It was a friendly rivalry. More like the Athletic Club in Newcastle.
Steve Car 101.
going to be honest, I don't think Fulham have got a hard rivalry with anybody. But anyway, 101 for West, not on the cards.
51. Neil Lucar, 56.
Double top. This is a slow start.
Getting shot
But
at
it is a
first
winning
leg, Neil.
start for Neil. There's another name that seems to be going out of fashion.
Second leg Steve to throw first.
We're talking
Game on.
about Garys and Terrys. Let's add Neil into that.
Oh, Neil.
100. $140.
The youngest person I think I know called Neil was that character for the In-Betweeners that I just referenced.
No. It's Neil the Baby.
45.
Baby Neil the Baby.
Oh.
From Gavin and Stacey.
Neil, the baby.
I think we've gone on a tangent here.
In fairness, Steve's a
54.
name which you don't really hear amongst the whippersnappers
No,
these days.
I think you get plenty of new Steves in central London. That's a good, solid name, isn't it? I can imagine there being a lot of baby Steves.
60.
Well, this Steve, can't believe that was only 60.
$60.
Do you know who would have made a really, really great darts referee, but not on a score of 60? Sylvester the Cat.
100.
He used to use his tongue a lot, didn't he? Maybe 60.
$81.
Did say we'd gone on a tangent. Well, Neil Duff has left another bogey number, so add that to your bingo
60.
card for the night. And it's another 60 for West, and he's starting to get annoyed by it.
Well, the first cry of wise up Neil this evening, which is something that
45.
he would say to
Steve
himself
Adele,
when he's getting a little bit
136.
frustrated with oneself.
Interesting. I like it. A second 48 would have left tops.
112. Neil Lucar,
I like that play
121.
for Steve. It works. It makes sense. But this would make more sense. Bullseye.
Game shot on the
Well,
second
that's
leg,
more
Neil
bingo,
Duff.
but in a nice way. And it's a bit
Third
of a
leg, Neil to
sickener
throw
for West.
first. Game on.
Hit him right where it hurts.
Well, neither of them have played that well in this game. And the 1-2-1 is
59.
popped just to put salt in the wound. Steve hasn't found his best darts against Neil this week. He hasn't won any of their fixtures.
100.
Is there a sense of perhaps a little bit too much respect? Both players paying one another.
I don't know. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes you're just going to lose against someone
135.
in a serial way. And you don't know why. Because you're giving them enough respect, but not too much. You're probably not trying too hard. But look on the bright side. And I can't believe I'm about to say this.
60.
That is Steve West's first 180 of the night. It's taken him the best part of 90 minutes
81.
to get his first maximum. Sometimes it takes him 90 seconds.
Unable to find a
Steve
treble,
Lucar,
and so West here has
140.
got 6 of 140 to break back into, importantly, return the game to throw. He's got 6 starts, he's going to need 6 starts.
40.
This is getting rather scrappy, this contest.
It is a little bit. I just get the feeling that Steve needs to remain composed here. He knows that Duff is
122.
breathing down his neck.
Steve Lucar, 100.
He's got to stay straight and trust himself here. Very straight. And
Game
very
shot on the third
good.
leg, Steve West.
Well, the scoring at times in this contest has left something to be desired, but there is nothing questionable about the finishing. The 1-2-1 of Duff has been cancelled out by the turn of West. We're back on throw, back at 2-1. And Steve had opportunity here to level this game up, but that first dart was far from inviting. Neither was dart 2, chasing round the board, but eventually finds the treble with the last.
If you are missing that treble 20 low a lot, you have to make an adjustment.
100.
There are things you can do on any ocky to try and get a better first start like that.
$94.
You can address the board a little higher. I wouldn't encourage constantly doing that because you could find yourself out of sync. You can throw the dart
135.
a little harder. That's a feel thing. Or you can try and get closer to the board by turning your foot a little bit more or possibly leaning a bit further forward.
60.
But that is a small adjustment. If you go too far, you lose balance.
Are you ready for the answer to tonight's Tungsten Teaser?
134.
I thought you'd never ask.
Well, you ask and you shall get in the next leg because Neil Dust left himself a 1-3-2 after 9.
There's you putting the T's in teaser.
60. Near the
And another 60 for West. That has been the story of his game.
Well, this is much better from Duff. Double 16 left after 12, and he's threatening another break. A break which this time would leave himself to have won a victory, and he'd have the darts in the next to get the job done. Is he making his move at the perfect time? 13 darter, 3-1 Duff. He gets a crucial break. He's got the break back, and he now has control of the contest. He has the darts here to make it 3 wins out of 3, and to take full control of this Group B. And that first dart is sat invitingly.
This game is now starting to resemble a Depeche Mode song for Steve West because he just can't get the Duff.
Oh, no.
100.
Anyway, Tungsten Teaser time. The question was, Jan van Veen, Luke Littler, Charlie Manby and Andreas Harrison all made the last 16 of the World Championship. They've all played here at the Live Lounge. In the cases of Manby, Harrison and Littler, they've all won weeks here at the Live Lounge. The answer to the question I wanted was 13. That is how many titles that has been won combined by that trio of players.
Yes, because Littler won 4.
Yes.
Manby won 2.
81.
Yes.
Which makes 6. So that means that Harrison won
7. Five weeks, 1 series, 1 special.
60.
And to complete the set and to become the first player to do so, he actually beat Neil Duff in the final of Double Trouble 3. He couldn't defend his title because he had to do something like get to the last 16 of the World Championships.
78. Near the car, 130.
Duff has got a chance to win by 4 legs to 1, just like he did on Monday against Westy on the bull.
99.
I think he was in two minds there as to whether he should lay up. He was going to roll the dice. And back strikes the small 20.
41. Near the car, 31.
So this to wrap it up. And to move on to 6 points and to move into cruise control of this group. Neil Duff looking at double 8.
23.
But it doesn't fully oblige. Steve Reyes is hoping to put this finish into room 101 to keep his hopes alive.
That's a great first start. He's gone for the bull again. Oh! Special in a special week. Play it again, Steve.
Steve to throw first. Game on.
The audacity to do it in that spot has to be commended. And the execution was laser-like from Steve West.
I'm not even sure Neil saw that, you know. Well, that was incredible. I've seen that from Josh Rock on the European Tour before. Very audacious. However, the irony is not lost.
100.
He's been struggling to find the treble 20 and he finds the bull twice.
Well, it shades echoes of the most famous finish that we've seen in this building, the infamous Bull 11 bull of a certain Luke the Nuke. And boy, did he have the crowd in raptures when he did it.
140.
Against Dowell Pilgrim, that was, in the final group game of Series 3 Champions Week. A night which saw the record average for a Champions Night, posted by Owen Bates.
30.
In that same group against Dowell Pilgrim, an average of 113 and change.
But not the record for a Saturday. Well, it was at the time.
140.
Has been surpassed a couple of times now by Littler and Van Tripe.
101.
Yeah, we averaged around about half of that at Q score today, Danny Van Tripe. Not a productive day for him. But for Neil Duff, it's been a very productive night's work, and he could finish it off with a 1-2-1 checkout. His second of the contest, a 12 darter to win an absolute epic with Steve West. The pair exchange 4-ton plus finishes in that contest. Neil Duff is now 3 from 3. And he will take on Simon Whitlock at the end of the night to try and complete the card. That's the tail of the tape from that one. Coming up after the break, we're going to be watching Paul Hogan in action, and he takes on Simon Whitlock.
He will be disappointed with that. He wanted to have one dart.
requires 20.
Graham Usher wins the first game of Champions Night, and it was an absolute ripper. He hit one of them on tops. He missed one on double 12. Which one is it? It's the hit.
Outside opportunity for Andy Hamilton. Van der Velde should be getting a match start again here. He's already had one. Mr. Darter tops for the match to win 4-1. And he Darter double 16 gets the job done there for Jürgen van der Velde. He gets over the line with a 4-2-6.
Did he go for tops, or did he just overshoot the single? Jimmy doesn't care. Jimmy just looks to eat this up to make the semi-finals for the second time. Adam Kaplas has been eliminated. Keep us guessing. This time he's trying to leave double 18. He knows best, and he takes the lead. He's 2 darts away from a Super Series final. He's 1 dart away. He doesn't need any more darts. Jeff Smith makes the Series 11 final. Is Usher losing his cool a little bit here?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, I'd say the head's gone, and you don't have long to recover. It is very, very short format darts. Vansky's halfway to victory.
He only needs one more. Jimmy Vansky is yet again into a Modus Super Series final.
Flashback vibes. Can Jimmy Vansky do the same? Just needs the one treble here on the 19s. Finds it. For the ball.
101.
Oh, unlucky. A lot of pressure on it. He's going to split it. 2 darts for double 4 for the match.
Game. Shot. And the Modus Super Series 11 champion, Jeff Smith.
We have 3 more matches to go here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. It's Thursday night under the lights here at the Modus Super Series. And we've got an Ashes battle between England and Australia. And who knows, it might finish 4-1 to Australia, just like the cricket did. But it's Crocodile Dundee up against the Wizard. It's Paul Hogan up against Simon Whitlock. And for Simon, an opportunity to join Neil Duff on to 6 points in the group. And them two would then duke it out in the final match of the night to see who gets top honours in this Group B. Duff, before the break, got the better of Steve West by 4 legs to 2, averaging
60.
just a shade under 91. 4 from 8 in terms of his finishing. 2 tub plus checkouts. 1-2-1 twice. Steve himself only had 2 darts and a double, and both of them were off the back of ton plus combos. A ton having hit tops, and then a 101 going bull 1 bull.
85.
But for Whitlock, an opportunity to join Duff on that 6-point mark and to stop and halt the progress that Paul Hogan has made, having got the better of Trina Gulliver a couple of games ago.
Hand on heart, how many players can you think, off the top of your head, the only legs they win
60.
in a contest are on double-double? Because that's exactly what West has just done. He lost the match 4-2, but both legs he won were double-double. If anything, that makes it more frustrating that he lost 4-2.
88.
Simon Whitlock's in pretty good nick tonight, isn't he? I know he didn't have to be his best against Trina in game 1, but after that, nearly a 99 average, and for most of that game against Steve West, he was averaging over 100. But he doesn't need 100. He needs double-double.
79.
I'm surprised he didn't hit that, actually.
And I think what will please Simon even more was he was pushed at points in that game against West, and he came up with the answer. In fact, he found answers in excess.
100. 20.
And this was kind of what he was doing in that game against Steve. He had 211 darters. He was leaving himself in this kind of range, leg in, leg out. 13 darter breaker throw. Whitlock takes the lead.
I'm glad you said in excess, because Simon used to walk onto an in excess song early in his career, before he started walking out to Land Down Under by Men at Work. If you look back at his early Grand Slam visits, he was walking out to New Sensation by In Excess.
Am I right in saying that was what Tony David walked out to as well at the lakeside?
Land Down Under?
No, New Sensation. Somebody Australian at lakeside that wasn't Simon also walked out to it. Tony David's the name on the back of my head, but I could be completely wrong.
To be honest with you, I can't remember what Tony used to walk out to.
40.
As Henry now refers that to the research department here at the Modus Super Series.
60.
Yeah, Tony David walked out to Men at Work Down Under at Lakey.
140.
I actually walked out to that at Alexander
59.
Palace
Hold the car 81.
on my debut, because Sky didn't want Metallica. So they decided to give me the classic Australian walk-on song.
45.
And then they gave me something else. A song called The Boys Bad News, which I stuck with for the rest of the tournament because I didn't have a spine. And then told them afterwards, I don't like it, I don't want it.
140. Hold the car 36.
And then Kasabian became a thing.
Hogan.
That is back-to-back 13 darters in the first 2 legs. One apiece.
Third leg Paul to through first. Game on.
Well, this is the most Australian game you can have without 2 Australians playing each other, because one of them is called Crocodile Dundee.
I just want to go back to your walk-on music.
81.
So, as revenge for Sky picking songs you didn't like, you decided to then walk out to what was their Premier League theme track at the time.
Just a great tune, though.
140.
You tell me that Clubfoot is not an absolute cracker of a tune.
We actually walk out to it at Fratton Park these days. Or
You do? Oh, well done.
Portsmouth do.
140.
We have a Kasabian mix at Fratton Park. So it's LSF, Lost Souls Forever, and then the beat drops and then it goes into the first verse of
93.
Club Foot. And then the players walk out. And then an hour and a half's worth of disappointment tends to follow.
140.
I am surprised that Simon started on the 20s on
84.
268.
Pull the car 140.
Most people these days, the great counters, they start on 19s. Is Hogan starting to find some sharpness here?
100.
Well, better late than ever, and this would be a rectifying of his night. He lost his first two, could win the last two, finish on 4 points, par for the course as far as the evening's concerned. And this could be the third consecutive 13 darter in this contest if this goes first dart. It does go first dart. 13, 13, 13, the number of darts needed to win the opening three legs of this contest. Hogan leading 2-1.
We are seeing a great deal of quality in this game. You ever seen the Crocodile Dundee movies, Henry?
I have.
Got a favourite character from those movies?
100.
Crocodile Dundee.
Mick Dundee.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Oh, that's your best impression of an Australian I've ever heard. That's the most famous scene, of course. But maybe the most famous character is Donk. Genuine character.
100.
His most famous scene was in the second movie. And that's exactly what Whitlock's trying to do
81.
to Dundee in this one. Donk. Oh, that's a brilliant visit from Hogan, though. Gets him half a dart ahead. And after a really good start, Whitlock might be in a bit of bother if he doesn't fill this up.
Well, Whitlock's not really dropping his level in comparison to the rest of the evenings. He piles in a max, and it's not going to be a 13 in this leg, but it may well be a 14 to level up at 2-2. He's not really dropped his level. Paul Hogan has raised this to a level way above anything that we've seen from him all night long.
Double 16. My word, the doubling's been good in this game. 2 out of 2 for Whitlock. Sorry, 2 out of 3 for him. 2 out of 2 for Hogan. This game is making us feel a little bit dizzy.
Now, I would like to head to the John Part School of Good Darts matches.
I can imagine John having that school. Hey, welcome to the School of Good Darts matches, eh?
And in the 39. John Part School of Good Darts matches, he will say a very good game is a match that doesn't go beyond 15 darts per leg at any point.
And he'd have a very good point.
81.
And the point very much stands in this particular contest. 4 legs played, 14 darter being the worst we've seen. Averages right now, Hogan 99 on the nose, Whitlock averaging just over the 95 mark, 95.35.
Do you know what I like about Simon's darts tonight? Is that they're hitting the board with real purpose, a lovely angle, and not a great deal of wobble when it hits the board. It means he's got a lot of control.
58.
Just the one dart missed at a double between the pair in this contest. Hogan 2 from 2 on the outer ring, Whitlock 2 from 3. And Crocodile Dundee 6 darts and 199 to re-establish a lead, but he's only left himself a 156.
A ton would have left Whitlock on 170.
The finish, when he was at his pomp, he was so famous 79. For taking out. He was the initial big fish reeler.
He really was. I would say Mr. 170 these days is Nathan Aspinall.
100.
He had 2 at the recent World Championship. Although that wasn't the most. Hyun Van Veen had 3. I mean, who gets 3?
And who can forget that infamous set between him and Gary Anderson where 2 of them were
64.
hit?
Polakar 56.
It's going to be 20. It's going to be double 18.
Gain on the 5th leg.
Predictable darts. And the worst leg of the match.
6th leg.
But
Simon
it is
through
an
first.
important one
Game
to
on.
take a 3-2 lead. Hogan is playing his last game of the night.
80.
If he does not win this game, he will walk away with 2 points. But if he does win this, he will defeat Whitlock for the first time and put himself right in the fold.
Well, this is the difference between
81.
putting himself right in the mix or leaving himself with work to do tomorrow. This game right here, right now, wins it, he is right in the melting pot.
46.
Leaves Whitlock on 4 points, with Neil Duff still to play in the last game of the night. It is a conceivability that despite Paul Hogan's slow start and Simon Whitlock's fast start, that these two could actually end level on points following the first night's worth of play.
Very conceivable. All you have to do is look at yesterday afternoon.
77.
Who had Terry Jenkins on 4 points with Robert Thornton at about 2:30 in the afternoon? Nobody. But it happened.
95.
It's a funny old game, Jim.
You're not wrong, Jim.
60.
Not sure he could have thrown a better first dart.
130.
His third dart wasn't bad either. Not really sure why. On 165, you do go for the bull. It's worked out pretty well.
140. Polakar 115.
Well, this to win what has been a corker of a contest. He's going to try and leave himself in situ. He leaves himself perfectly in situ.
If Whitlock's first dart is high here, he might stay on the 60 for double 9. He'll stay right there. Oh, my word. How close a call was that?
Polakar 16.
Well, Paul Hogan hasn't missed a dart to the double in this contest. And he isn't going to miss one at all. 4 from 4 on the doubles. And Paul Hogan has saved his best performance for last. It was a slow start to the evening for Crocodile Dundee, but he's won each of his last 2, and he saved his best performance right for the very end. An average of 96.5, perfect in terms of his finishing. Simon Whitlock has still got to play Neil Duff at the end of the night. He may only end on 4 points. But coming up after the break, we're going to watch Steve West in action. He could also be on 4 come the end of play this evening. He takes on Trina Gulliver. It's game 9 of 10, and it's coming up after the break. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yes. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Luke Lidlow!
We're back here at the live lounge in Portsmouth, Group B of the Modus Super Series Seniors Showdown. And before the break, Simon Whitlock was defeated for the first time this evening, losing out by 4-2 to Paul Hogan, who averaged 96.5 in that contest, was perfect in terms of his finishing, 4 from 4 on his doubles in that contest. Game 9 is a meeting between Steve West and Trina Gulliver. For Steve, a win here would see him end his night with 4 points. I think he'd be happy enough with that return if that's what he does end up with. Although maybe he wouldn't have felt that way after his opening performance. He got the better of Paul Hogan by 4-1 to kick off his night. He averaged 97.21, was 4 from 9 in terms of his finishing there. He then lost out 4-2 to Simon Whitlock in his second game. Whitlock, who averaged 98.89, hit 4 180s against him, was 4 from 7 on his doubles, including that ton checkout. And then in his previous match, well, Neil Duff again, averaging in excess of 90, 4 from 8 in terms of his finishing, took out 2 1-2-1 checkouts. West himself finding a couple of ton plus finishes, and they're finding his first max of the match.
And only his second of the evening.
100.
But it's an encouraging start for Steve, who really must win this fixture. Now that Hogan's on 4 overnight, Whitlock will be on 4 minimum. Duff could be on 8. I'm trying to figure out in my own mind, what is the best case scenario for Steve?
41.
Winning this game first, of course.
1.
You can't really miss tops twice by a smaller margin than that.
65. Civicar 40.
Let's see if he can take it this time. Absolutely not. That's a great dart, and he does take the lead. So what about the last fixture between Whitlock and Duff? What's the best result for Steve for position overnight?
Duff win. Take one player out the mix and have everybody else on the same position as you, and you just fight for 1 or 2 spots. And remember, there's no prize money based on league positioning either. So just get through no matter how.
140.
There is something rather addictive for some of these players come Saturday night.
100.
They get here about 5 o'clock, 2.5 hours of prep, making sure they're all tuned up for a 7:30, 7:45 start.
60.
Steve has been here for many, many Saturdays. As has Duff, as has Hogan. Whitlock
45.
has some experience of Saturdays, but not too much. And Trina has been to a Saturday herself.
180.
Maxi number 2 of the contest for Steve West.
Considering how good he is at hitting maximums, tonight they've been on the side of a milk carton.
100. Supercar 121.
But they have been found. That was
96.
almost found as well.
Supercar 156.
Great attempt from West.
Well, this would be a haymaker. And that sat perfectly for another. Just couldn't quite find it. And so West will come
100.
back looking at
Supercar 25.
25 to double his lead to 2-0. One for double 12, the MO. And
Game
an
shot on
MO
the second
taken
leg,
out
Steve West.
perfectly. 15 followed by 14. 29 darts on the first two legs.
Third
West
leg, Steve
2-0
through
up,
first. Game
averaging just over 103.5.
I think they might be having a little giggle about Steve's single one there because it was precariously close to the big 20. These guys do go way
100.
back. They were both playing county darts in the 90s.
And following on from that, would have known one another from their
41.
exploits on the BDO circuit in the noughties.
Yep, Trina was playing for Warwickshire, which is in the central part of England for all of our viewers outside of the UK.
123.
And Steve playing alongside his brother Tony in Hertfordshire, just on the outskirts of London, on the north side.
The county that
41.
our friend and colleague Jared Cole plays for.
And their most famous teammate from back then was a guy called Dennis Ovens.
45.
The original Heat.
Indeed.
$100.
Alex Roy played for Hertfordshire as well. Very good player. Not the kind of guy you want to mess with either.
88.
I really like that play. 233. 219s and a 25,
59.
leave 170. You
Supercar
get the ball,
145.
you're in a better position. That's just really smart from Steve.
Well, he's got 6 darts on the 145 to go
95.
3-0 up. And having found the treble with the last, leaves himself on a single to double when he comes back.
Is there a case here for going for the ball? Wouldn't be the
41.
first leg of the night
Supercar
where he gets
50.
2 bulls in the same leg.
I think it's tempting, but he goes for a bit of sense and sensibility.
11.
Yes, okay, he may well go on for the bull.
Well, I don't know what happened there. That is the worst dart I've ever seen him throw at his favourite double.
40. Supercar 39.
I've known him a quarter century.
That was a little bit like an Enzo Lefebvre penalty.
Getting shot on the third leg, Steve West.
3-0 Steve West.
I get the feeling you're going to use that example quite a lot in the future.
Fourth leg, Trina to throw first.
Hi Enzo,
Game
if
on.
you're watching. Yeah, that might be the worst penalty I've ever commentated on.
100.
I don't know, that as a penalty for Crystal Palace at Newcastle last year was pretty dismal.
125.
This result so far for Steve is far from dismal. It's actually very good.
55.
Nearly a 94 average for 3 in the bit legs. But he's had a few darts that have slipped a little bit. And I just wonder if it's got something to do with the points. Maybe he's got a little bit less traction in the top of the points. I would not be surprised if he used a
100.
different point come Friday night.
And we know he's one that if he doesn't feel comfortable with something, he's not afraid to tinker. But he's not going to let it linger.
140.
Because you need the point to be right when it's sitting on your finger. Thank goodness there's no Ali Pali Wasp here, because that would be a stinger.
Yeah, let's move on.
Agreed.
Got to have a look at 106 to get something on the board. And
Trina car 106.
dare I say it, she hasn't won a leg since the opening game of the night against Neil Duff. But this would be some way to stop the rot. Double top.
Game shot on
Oh,
fourth leg,
yes.
Trina Gulliver.
That's more like it. Golden Darts and the Golden Girl, a 106 checkout.
Steve to throw first.
And that is some way to end the legless slumber.
First ton plus checkout of the night.
45.
In fact, it might just be the first of the morning.
60.
If you survey how Trina's darts behave in the air these days, they do have a bit of a twist about them. They do a bit of a helter-skelter in the air, but so does Steve's. You have to understand how your darts behave in the air. Look at them going in a little bit sideways. That makes, when she hits that bottom corner of the 1, makes it very difficult to find the treble 20. Because of the way they behave in the last third. As for Steve's, they've got more of an arc. They've got more flight.
80.
That's one of the reasons why that one ended up on the floor, because when it hits the flight first like that, it's got no power left.
Floats in the air like a paper aeroplane.
41.
I think there's this misconception that every world-class dart player gets them to land pure in the board. They don't. But every now and again, that happens.
Well, when he gets it right, he gets it very right. Third 180 of the game for Steve West. Leads himself on 96 after a dozen to complete a 4-1 win to put him on to 4 points overnight.
96.
And to put himself right in the mix. To bookend his evening with wins. He kicked off with a 4-1 success over Paul Hogan, and he looks set now to end his evening with a 4-1 win over Trina Gulliver.
When he's sitting on tops, averaging north of 90, it feels academic. Trina will feel like that's the last visit of her
74.
evening.
Steve McCarr, 40.
An evening which promised so much early on, but hasn't quite worked out. As for Steve West, the evening was bookended with wins. He got the better of Paul Hogan to start the night and gets the better of Trina Gulliver to finish off proceedings. 4 points overnight for the newly crowned Double Trouble champion against the Golden Girl, for whom tonight didn't quite go to plan. Our final game is a meeting between Simon Whitlock and Neil Duff, and if Neil Duff wins this, he'll end the night with 8 points to his name. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. It's the final game of the night here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, and it is a meeting between Simon Whitlock and Neil Duff. Now, this is how the permutations work as far as his fixture is concerned. Any win would mean that Neil Duff would pick up the full complement of 8 points from tonight's play. He'd have a lead overnight, and he'd have a 4-point lead going into Friday's play. However, if Simon Whitlock can win this game by a 4-2 margin, then he would be the player at the top of the pile going into Friday's play. If it finishes 4-3 in the direction of the Wizard, then they'd be level on points, but Duff would be top of the table. It's Whitlock to get us underway, who at the beginning of the night was playing some Wizard-like darts. Most impressively against Steve West in game 2, but there was a little bit of a step off the boil towards the end of his game against Paul Hogan. Started tremendously, but as soon as Crocodile Dundee started running, he just wasn't quite able to keep pace.
What we can say is that if you take Trina Gulliver out of the equation, from what I'm about to say, the other players have all had at least one game where they've averaged and played exceptionally.
100.
Duff has averaged 98.5 against Hogan. Hogan has averaged 96.5 against Whitlock. West has averaged 97 and a bit against Hogan.
140.
And Whitlock has averaged nearly 99 against West. So they're doing it to each other. What it looks like we have in this group situation
30.
Is that 3 of those players are battling it out. Or should I say 4 are battling it out for 3 spots. This is really interesting. Because if they keep doing what they've done tonight into tonight's play on Friday night, we haven't got a clue who's going to take the top 3 spots.
It's like a rip-off Spice Girls track, because tonight is the night where 4 become 3.
Oh, the irony's not lost. Duff is on a Whitlock shot. But he's not going to go the same route as the 2013 European Championship.
41. Simon Carr, 78.
So 78 to get up and running. You can tell both players are just beginning to fatigue as the night draws to a close. And this is an awkward tops. That flight's in the way. But he manages to find the centre of the bed. Nigh on perfectly. Nigh on intrinsically. Whitlock one up. Duff with work to do.
Doesn't Neil usually use red flights?
81.
No, that might seem like something that doesn't really matter, but
96.
Some players don't change a great deal about what they use. At the start of 2026, it feels like Duff is changing a few things up.
121.
And he might be trying to figure this out in this special week for the benefit of 2026.
77.
If you are going to change a piece of equipment, this time of year is not a bad time to try.
And because of the calendars 85. And the circuits that Neil Duff plays on, the majority of the big stuff in his season comes at the end of it, in October, November. The World Masters, the Lakeside, the Global Championships, those types of tournaments, they all come later in the season. So actually, the first 6 months, as long as you can pick up enough points and do what you need to do, you can, if you're in his scenario, just try and find that right fix to get it perfect for when it does matter.
Down the angle again.
100.
That's why he does that step.
129.
He actually makes the 60 bigger by stepping to the right. Ah, the old school route
89.
For the 129. You don't see many people going for treble 12 on 72 anymore.
Well, I suppose it is an old school week. Nothing old school about this. This is just conventional. And that is perfectly executed for Simon Whitlock. The bullseye pin, 2 from 2 on the doubles. And 2-0, the Wizard leads.
That was a beauty, wasn't it? There's the step to the left this time.
100.
And it works from that angle too. Some players have utilised those angle changes on the hockey more than others. Dimitri Vandenberg does it.
100.
Kyle Anderson used to do it very well. And Darryl Gurney's used it to great effect as well in his career.
More angles than Alan McManus.
58.
More angles than Pythagoras.
There's a lot of people watching this right now that have been sent back to year 10 maths by talking about Pythagoras.
How many times have you used Pythagoras in real life?
No, and
45.
to be honest, if you need to work something out, we've got a mobile phone that has a calculator on it.
Yeah, but don't you feel better when you find something out or research it without it?
46.
And if you haven't got a calculator, you've got AI these days.
There was a time that if you didn't know something and you wanted to know what it was, you had to go to the local library and find it.
180.
That can be found from 7'9¼
I do enjoy a notepad and jotting things down and creating a notebook.
180.
Anyway, back-to-back maxis. Whitlaw looking at the 118 to get Dust's number. Just low, but he has to stay there. Or he could go treble 16 bull.
I think that was the right play, but in his own mind, he was 50-50. He was thinking he could bulldoze the 60 with dart too, but decided it was a bit of a risk.
Double 16 to get Duff into the contest.
19.
This is not going to plan at all for the Duff man.
Not at all. Double 8.
Getting shot on the third leg.
He gets the first crack at it. And he takes it out for 3-0. Not many people saw this coming.
Game on.
3 out of 3. We've seen some supreme doubling tonight from multiple parties.
From Whitlock
60.
in particular. 3 from 3, as you can see on that graphic in this game. 2 from 3 against Hogan. 4 from 7 against Steve West. And 4 from 12 in his match
42.
against Trina Gulliver. By and large, when he's getting chances, he is snapping at the heels of opponents.
I don't know about you, Henry, but I'm seeing a
59.
degree of freshness about Whitlock here this evening. He has historically started seasons over the last 20 years rather well.
137.
I also reckon, and we mentioned at the beginning of the programme, the fact he's not playing Q-score, he's playing a different path this year. I just wonder that freshness of doing something different, the challenges being different.
140.
Sometimes that can freshen the brain up because sometimes if you're doing the same thing year in, year out, it just feels that you're going through one constant cycle. Whereas for Simon, there's new things on the horizon, and that does do a lot to help your enthusiasm as he helps himself to a second max. And of course, fresh off the back of his ANZ Premier League success,
121.
He's now got 8 maximums tonight.
142.
Some very good performances, and he could have a 4-0 victory, courtesy of a 1-4-2.
double 11.
120.
Well, that's
Neil
a rarefied
Duff,
miss at a
121.
double. But Neil Duff has taken this out twice already tonight. He did so on 2 occasions against Steve West. And he did so this way to win the match against Westy.
107.
But he needed that to save this one against
22.
Whitlock, who now looks at double 11 to bring this game to a close, to wrap up a 4-0 victory and to go top overnight. Inside, Duff's reprieved.
14. Neil Duff, 14.
He can't hit the Stranger Things double. One man can't hit 11.
Getting shot on the
One
fourth
man
leg,
can't
Neil
hit
Duff.
7. And
Fifth
a
leg,
chance
Simon
to
to
win
throw
by 4
first.
legs to
Game
0
on.
passes Whitlock by. Now, how does he respond?
Neil Duff somehow
100.
pulls off a miraculous comeback here despite the fact that Trina Gulliver hasn't picked up a point, if he won this return fixture tomorrow, he would qualify for Saturday night with 3 games to spare.
50.
I know what you're like, Henry. I know you've got a great deal of things in your brain that just stay there and they come out at the right times. But 142 on double 11, funnily enough,
65.
that rings true to Whitlock because he had a very, very good game with Scott Waite at the Grand Slam many years ago. And the end shot was a 142 on double 11.
45.
So people have been going for the 260s on any double shot for 15 years. It's not a new thing.
That is another max.
Shouldn't be surprised. We're talking about a guy who's hit 20 maximums in one match at a Grand Slam.
83.
3 for the match, and a match which from this point onwards should come to a close. Could be done in 3. Just low on the 156, but he's left himself in beautiful nick. He's left himself on a double after 12 to bring this game to a close.
He's looked really good tonight. He's not over the line yet, but he might be now.
16.
Well, Simon Whitlock has looked very sharp this evening. Got through the first match, and since then has played like a dream at points. And he's going to be top of the table come the end of the night. A 4-1 win for Simon Whitlock over Neil Duff means it's the Australian who is at the summit following the first day of the Seniors Showdown. The recently crowned ANZ Premier League champion is making his mark here at the Modus Live Lounge. A 4-1 victory against Neil Duff rounds off our night. It sees him top of the table, and we're going to hear from the Wizard on the other side of this short break. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus
The live lounge in Portsmouth, where Group B has come to a close here at the Seniors Showdown, and it was a very good night as far as Simon Whitlock was concerned. He's top of the table following a 4-1 victory over Neil Duff in the final game of the session. Both players will be on 6 points going into tomorrow evening's action. This is how the table looks then following the conclusion of the first day's worth of play. As you can see, Simon, courtesy of his superior legs difference, top from Neil Duff in second. Steve West and Paul Hogan both picked up 4 points apiece. Trina Gulliver at the bottom of the table, having not picked up a win on the opening night's worth of action. A good evening for Simon Whitlock, and he joins myself and Paul Nicholson in the studio now. Simon, many congratulations. Once you got through that first game against Trina, it just looked like it all flowed for yourself.
Yeah, you know, I was a little bit nervous going into the first game. Like, I've changed darts again. Then I've gone back to my original. So, yeah, to get the win up first was pretty good.
So is it fair to say it was a little bit of a step into the unknown for yourself this evening?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I was a little bit nervous. Didn't know which darts to use, and then I figured it out. So it turned out pretty good, actually.
You more than figured it out.
Yeah, I think Simon looked really comfortable tonight. Sometimes from the outside, someone can look a lot more comfortable than they feel. But when you get off to a winning start, and then you see how some players are reacting to his performance, we saw someone have, in the top 4 of the table, have one great performance at least each. But by the end, Simon had a bit more in the tank for Neil Duff, who just seemed to tire towards the end. And I like the fact that he hit 9 maximums tonight with some excellent doubling. 45% for the night is very, very good.
And for yourself, some of the finishing, particularly in a couple of games towards the end, they were mustard, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. My finishing was good, yeah. My scoring was good at times. But, yeah, it's all the bad ones in between I don't like.
Are those the bits that you're trying to iron out? Do you feel like your game is almost there, but it's just a couple of little things that you just need to kind of put to bed?
Yeah, you know, it's like everyone, you know, just get rid of the bad ones. Just be consistent is my theory, and that works. Like, you'll win a lot of matches if you don't miss, like, single numbers.
I know it wasn't the perfect start against Trina Gulliver in terms of performance, but the fact you managed to get the win in that, did it just kind of set the course for the evening ahead?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I felt pretty confident after beating Trina, and Trina didn't play the best darts against me, but I'll take that win, and then I moved on with it, so it was really good. Because
for you, confidence is everything, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a confidence player, definitely. Like, I breed off winning, and if I don't start off good, then I'm pretty bad.
And do you know what? There was points tonight where we looked at Simon and we thought, this is glimpses of some of the vintage stuff.
It absolutely was. We can easily sit here and say that, you know, there were parts of Simon's game that do need ironing out, but the encouraging stuff, it was the scoring. It's not just the 9-180s, but it's the use of the angles as well. It's something that has been part of his game throughout his entire 20-year career. So if you look at the steps to the left, the steps to the right, it's the using of the angle, and it's also the way the dart is hitting the board with less wobble, with the aggressive point, and trying to figure out the balance which he needs to move forward with the scoring that he wants. Some of the facets he was using tonight were part of the vintage Whitlock brand, but still doing it years later, which is really encouraging.
How big was that last one against Neil? Because it means you're both on an even kilter, you're top overnight, and it means it's really open to play for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's really big. I think that's my first win against Neil, so it was very important, and just to stay at the top of the table with him, like, yeah, it was pretty good.
That's the win that puts you top overnight. Now, you mentioned earlier on in the interview that you weren't quite sure with what you were going with. You've actually got your darts on the table there. What was it about this specific set that you thought, right, this is what I want to go? What have you seen in that that's going to bring the best out of your game?
Well, that's the one I won the Premier League with in Australia, and same points. But I've been messing with a few other darts because I wasn't really satisfied with these. But you know what? They work fantastic. I actually had a little bit of a play with them, put them on the bench grinder and messed them up a little bit. But you know what? They work perfect tonight.
Some people turn up with sandpaper. Some people spend a bit of time on a grinder. And this is why we love him, because he's a bit of a mad scientist, but he does things that other people have not even thought of. People like Max Hopp and other players have come to Simon for advice just to get that extra 1% of comfort. So it just goes to show what his knowledge of this sport is unsurpassed.
Hey, with the Ashes just finished, you shouldn't really talk about sandpaper next to an Australian.
Yeah, let's talk about cricket. Forget darts.
No. Just quickly, I know you mentioned about you tinker of it. What specifically were you looking at in the other sets that you wanted that you didn't quite get with that?
I don't really know. I get a bit bored with the same set. I'm pretty similar to Peter Wright, but not quite as bad as him. I don't change as much as him. Like he might change 10 times, I might change 3 times, but you know, it's all about feeling. You have to feel right with the darts you got in your hand.
Right, we'll have another chat with you in just a second, Simon. There's been plenty of action elsewhere this evening, Nico. Let's have a chat about Neil Duff. Really good start to his night. He won each of his opening 3. He'll be disappointed he didn't get over the line in the last one. But overall, there was a lot of positives for him to take.
Yeah, a lot of positives. Neil was playing some pretty good stuff at times. He seems to have the best of his darts reserved for Steve West for some reason all week long. But yeah, I just think that Neil was playing some good stuff. Maybe tiring a bit towards the end. It's his 4th day of the week, but Simon was playing only his first, so maybe he had a bit more in reserve. But it'll be interesting to see what happens on Friday night with them both.
Steve West, ball 1 ball, a little bit audacious.
Slightly, but then again, you're in a group full of players who have got double talents. It just so happens that he only wins 2 legs in this match, and both legs were won with double. And sometimes when the game is not clicking, you just need to do something different to try and change things up. And if that's what floats your boat, off you go.
In terms of Paul Hogan, he'd be disappointed with the start, but he made up for it to the end, didn't he?
He did. He got the win against Trina, which is something he needed to get because everybody else got it. But the ability to find his best performance towards the end and show that just like Whitlock, just like Duff and West, he's got that over 95 average game in the tank. It just goes to show that this is going to be a very competitive group come Friday night.
And finally, as for Trina, it was missed doubles tonight that let her down.
Yeah, she did have plenty of opportunities. There were darts at double in every match, and a couple of occasions she's had 8 darts at double in a match and not hit one, so it doesn't take a darting genius to figure out what went wrong.
So back to you, Simon, and I just want to talk about what 2026 looks like for yourself. You haven't entered Q School this year, so the Pro Tour's not an option, the Challenge Tour's not an option in 2026. What's your plans for the season ahead?
Well, I'd like to Premier League in Australia again. That's probably number 1 on my list. Win that, get myself in the World Championships, and yeah, a lot of exhibitions, and yeah, there's lots of opportunities for me. I'm going to Vegas next week, so chances to make the BDO World Finals and all sorts.
So I suppose for yourself, it's opened up, I suppose, doors that in recent years haven't been there, testing new horizons, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm pretty sure, to be fair, I was confident getting a tour card, but that's not my goal now. I've got other options which I prefer.
And we haven't seen you since picking up that ANZ Premier League win. And we saw the emotion when you picked up that title. That was special. You've done some great things in your career, but that's got to be right up there near the top.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? It's the first one in Australia, and I had to win it. If I didn't win it, it was not acceptable. Like, that was my goal. Like, I knew 2 weeks from the end I was going to win it.
What a lot of people don't understand as well is that every time we flash up Simon's graphics, it says Hornsby, which is New South Wales. But you spent a lot of time in Queensland as well. From Harvey Bay?
No, not Harvey. Deception Bay.
Yeah, Deception. Okay, so it's in that sort of, that wheelhouse, Gold Coast, Brisbane. Final was in Brisbane, right? So he's in front of all the Queenslanders. Brisbane's got a huge darts following right there. And him being the first name on the trophy, that's important. It's not just for him, but for Australian darts. You think about Conan Whitehead being the first name on the Modus Super Series trophy. That's important because you've got a name on that trophy. But if you're going to have importance for the ANZ Premier League moving forward, you need an iconic name. And it was always going to get one with Simon or Raymond. But with Simon, you've got the greatest Australian player of all time on that trophy. Could be twice as well in 2026.
Could be a busy weekend for the Whitlock family. Obviously, you're here and Mason's trying to win his tour card at Q School.
Yeah, I mean, he's done really well. He made the final part, you know.
Second stage.
Second stage. And he's got a big chance as long as he pulls his finger out, throws some really good darts and be consistent.
And it's been a good day already for Australian darts because I know you've got to know Adam Leake quite well since he's been in the UK and he managed to get his tour card today.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Like the guy, I've only met him a couple of times. He's a great lad and what a great dart player. I watched all of his matches today and he played phenomenal darts to get through.
He's actually putting South Australia on the map as well. You think about some of the stars that have come from Australia in the past, Victorians, New South Walians, Queensland. WA has taken a lot of the headlines over the years with Kyle Anderson and Damon Heta, but now South Australia has come to the party. And Adam Leake is a character. I think we're going to be loving him being part of this.
And we've loved having you as always here. So many congratulations on a good night. We shall see you again tomorrow. Nico, we shall see you again as well. Plenty coming up across Pluto TV between now and 1 o'clock. We're going to see Group C come to a close tomorrow afternoon. Johnny Haynes is top of the table, having won 4 out of 5 games on Thursday. Michael Huntley is very much in the mix, as to Terry Jenkins, the bull rolling back the years. That's tomorrow from 1 o'clock. In the interim, this is what else is happening, and we're actually going to be delving a little bit deeper into the Whitlocks in the Break of Throws series. That's coming up in a few moments' time. Then we're going to see the final day of pool stage action at the Seniors Showdown tomorrow from 1 o'clock for Group B and 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock for Group C, 10 o'clock for Group, it's been a long day, Simon. Then finals night Saturday from 7:30. Richard Rowlands is in action for that. And then Laura Turner's swapping the commentary box for the Oki when Women's Week 5 gets underway on Monday morning from 9:30 a.m. But here at the Seniors Showdown, it was the Wizards who rolled back the years. He's top of the pile going into tomorrow. We should see you from 1 o'clock for Group C. Until then, take care. Bye for now.
What a finish. What a man. The drum roll finishes and the target is... And that was it.
And it comes on finals night and it's a knockout. Dirty Harrison! Van Velzen!
You will be disappointed with that. He wanted to have
Graham
one dart for the
requires 20.
Graham Usher wins the first game of Champions Night, and it was an absolute ripper. He hit one of them on tops. He missed one on double 12. Which one is it? It's the hit.
Outside opportunity for Andy Hamilton. Van der Velde should be getting a match start again here. He's already had one. Mr. Dart at tops for the match to win 4-1. And he Dart at double 16 gets the job done there for Jurgen van der Velde. He gets over the line with a 4-2.
Did he go for tops or did he just overshoot the single? Jimmy doesn't care. Jimmy just looks to eat this up to make the semi-finals for the second time. Adam Kaplas has been eliminated. Keep us guessing. This time he's trying to leave double 18. He knows best, and he takes the lead. He's 2 darts away
Jeff requires 86.
from a Super Series final. He's 1 dart away. He doesn't need any more darts. Jeff Smith makes the Series 11 final. Is Usher losing his cool a little bit here?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, I'd say the head's gone, and you don't have long to recover. It is very, very short form at darts. Vansky's halfway to victory.
He only needs one more. Jimmy Vansky is yet again into a Modus Super Series final.
Flashback vibes. Can Jimmy Vansky do the same? Just needs the one treble here on the 19s. Finds it. For the ball.
101.
Oh, unlucky. A lot of pressure on it. He kind of split it. 2 darts for double fourth in the match.
Game